Recording has started, so who wants to be the first one to ask questions? Okay. Anybody?
Why would you think he did? I mean, that's kind of weird to see because I'm like, well.
And the last time we talked to Kat, she didn't seem too confident about her place.
Mac 311 or Mac 11, please mute your mic. If any of you aren't talking, please mute your mics. I guess what I can do is go over real briefly about trading platforms. If any of you guys are only using Robinhood, I highly recommend that you get off of it. Please mute your mic. D Mercy. Dipped in Sauce, please mute your mic. Bannerman. Blood got a lot of new people here. That's great. I get a lot of background noise. I don't want to manually mute people because then you can't talk when you want to. So please do mute yourself. Okay. Going back to what I was saying about Robinhood. If you're on Robinhood, you should really seriously consider to get off. Okay. Is there anybody here that is on Robinhood only?
I'm on Robinhood.
I'm on
Yeah, I'm on Robinhood too.
Okay, so after, well, here, let me, matter of fact, I'll just go over real briefly why I say Robinhood's terrible. I also made a video on my channel about Robinhood and why I think it's complete garbage. So do reference that, after this live Q&A. But basically, Robinhood.
B, Chip, you got a B in your.
Hold on a second.
SAT. No, your AP.
Where does it say that?
Okay. Sorry, guys. I'm just gonna have to mute people here. Okay. Oh my lord.
Which app is CD?
Who is that?
It's Ayan.
Oh yeah, really hard to hear you, man.
I was saying it's not the Robinhood, then should we use CD or Webull?
Okay. Let me go over why I think it's not good, and then I'll make some suggestions. Okay, so please everybody mute your mics so that there's no background noise. It's really hard for other folks to hear, including myself. Okay.
The cars are all nice and warm.
Okay. On Robinhood, there's no market orders. Okay, so let's just say, for example, you want to get into an option or shares right now. Okay, let's say, for example, Tesla is ripping. Let's say, before they announced that they were doing the split, it just started going up days and days and days, right? Or like recently when they announced they're going to be part of the SPY, it just started going up for days, right? There's scenarios. Who is that? Does anybody know?
Hunts.
Okay, so you can't do market orders on Robinhood, so it's impossible to get into something instantly. But also, if you want to get out of a position, so let's say you're down 50% on a position, and then it starts going up. and you know it's going to keep falling, but right now it's going up, and you want to just get out right now, you can't do a market order, right? You have to do a limit order on Robinhood, and that's not great. I mean, I never really recommend doing market orders, but at the same time, the options there on other platforms, right? When I do a lot of share swinging, and sometimes I just want to get in at market order, right? I mean, I see the price at the level that I'm willing to pay, and I'll just throw out market orders, on my broker, and that works really well for me. Um, it's quick and easy. I don't have to go out and calculate things. I can just get in, right? So that's one thing. The other thing is Robinhood doesn't offer option chains. So if you look on my screen right now, and also I think there's more than 50 people in here. So if someone wants to live stream my live stream so that others can view it, that would be helpful. Okay. Hold on. I gotta keep muting people here.
Yeah, it won't let us like watch the stream or anything.
All right, 1 second. Hold on. Okay, let me get another support member in here, and I'll get them to live stream for me so that everybody can see.
Yeah, absolutely will.
Just give me 1 sec, guys and gals.
I'll take a trip over there or whatever.
All right, so I'm just to see if I can get another support member in here to help stream my live stream. There's obviously more than 50 people in here, so just give me 1 sec. Bear with me.
They should make it so you can more than 50 people can watch.
Yeah, that's the limitations of Discord, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And I kind of want to get another one of my guys in here. They're still kind of in the meeting that I arranged initially. Please, if your mic is not muted, please mute yourself.
My mic muted.
I'm going to manually mute everyone that's not muted.
I think I'm muted. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to keep going here. I'm not going to keep waiting on someone to help me out here. Looks like I might be able to get, let me see if I can get VCAV in here. Okay, looks like Green Too Sick is streaming it. Feel free to watch that if you can't see mine. Okay, so I think that should be able to be, I'm not totally sure how many people in here, but I'm going to get more people in. All right, so um, on my screen, this is what's called an option chain. And Robinhood doesn't offer this. Okay. The things that are available on the option chain, Robinhood does have, but you have to sift through many different areas to find it. Okay. Theta decay or delta or the Greeks in general, open interest, volume, bid ask spreads. You know, it's not all in one place. It's not centralized like it is on my broker, for example. And that's doing you a disservice, because if you can't see all this information in one area before you make a trade, it doesn't help you to be successful. It actually hurts you. Um, and with that, sorry, just give me a second here. Okay, with that, I would say that all the data that it provides on an option chain is very, very important to have.
People watching the stream already?
So, with that being said, the next thing that I would say that Robinhood just doesn't allow for some reason.
Hey, sorry to interrupt. I think if someone else can do another live stream, I'm not able to get on to either one of you guys's.
Okay. Just give me a sec. I've got a couple of my guys that are trying to get to their laptops to do a live stream. And I'll be happy to go over the option chain again. That was the only thing initially. There's another one, AYYC, if you want to watch that stream. Please let me know if anybody else can't see what I'm seeing after that one gets filled up. Okay.
Forgive me, Hasta. I don't have a second monitor, so I don't think I can help you stream. Or is there a way for me to stream it for you? Or
so I'm not really totally sure, to be honest with you.
yeah, because I'm trying to like watch your stream, but it's full. But like I also can't stream like your screen. I think unless I have a second monitor, and I just have my laptop right now with me.
I think we're okay at the moment. I think the two other live streams that the other members have started should be sufficient.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay, so I'm gonna briefly go over that option chain one more time, since not everybody was able to see it. Basically, Robinhood doesn't allow you to see all of this data in one place, right? So bid ask spread, volume, open interest, delta, theta, gamma, whatever, all the Greeks. It just doesn't allow you to see it in one place. You can find it in other places, but it's like, you have to kind of sift through multiple different menus to get to it. And when time is of the essence with options, which typically it is the case, then you're not able to make the best decision at the right time, right? So it hurts you, right? And this also helps you see, puts, calls, in the money, out of the money. So very, very helpful thing to have. Well, that's one of the major reasons why I really hate Robinhood. So another one is the fact that even if you have a cash account in Robinhood, you can't do unlimited day trades. Okay, that's terrible. There's other platforms that allow you to do that, even if you only got 500 bucks, 1,000, whatever the case. Typically, the PDT rule, which is the pattern day trader rule, requires you to have $25,000 plus whatever you're trying to trade. So you have to maintain a $25,000 number, and then whatever you're trading has to be in addition to that in order for you to be able to do day trading without getting flagged. Now, there are other platforms, again, that I'll go over at the end of this. Shit. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Something weird happened on my mic or on my headphones. As I was saying, I'll go over a couple other platforms towards the end of this specific discussion for those of you that um, want to jump to something else, right? Now, by no means am I saying you have to do this. Obviously, everybody is free to choose what they want. I just highly recommend you get off Robinhood. Okay, so another thing that I absolutely despise about Robinhood is the fact that you can't do charting. If you want to do any kind of technical analysis whatsoever, you can't do any charting, right? That's bad. That's terrible. Like most of my analysis is done via the chart, right? When I do support resistance, trend, price action, volume, I look at some patterns, whatever it is that I'm looking for, I use my chart the most, right? So you just simply don't have that option there, a choice. Same thing with indicators. If you're one of those folks that likes to use indicators, it's just not there. It's not available. You can't do it on Robinhood. So again, very terrible. They're also what I call a low-end broker with no clout, which basically means that all of their orders that get put into the market, they don't, in my opinion, and I've experienced this, and I'm not sure exactly the reasoning behind it, but I just believe that it's either um, they're doing something nefarious or they're just a low-end broker that doesn't get recognized. But basically, when I put in an order on Webull or Thinkorswim or Schwab or whatever, one of those the other platforms, I'm able to get my order filled pretty quickly. As long as I've got open interest there, I'm able to get my order filled really quickly. So that's also highly important in option trading. If you don't get the order filled at the right time or what you're trying to do, you might end up finding yourself chasing, and that's a terrible idea. That's a terrible thing to do when you're trading in general. Is if you try to chase something, you're just making it worse for yourself. Okay, so
Put this on instead.
one second, sorry. Okay, so the next thing is I don't know if you guys have noticed. I'm sure you have. When you go into your broker or on the Robinhood, it has these headlines that pop up and say, this equity is being traded a lot.
Hello.
This one's been traded a lot.
Hello.
And the fact that they put up information up there that is just misleading, right? Example, when Hertz was going bankrupt and filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, that was one of the hot stocks they threw up there. And if anybody that didn't know that Hertz was going bankrupt, they thought, oh, Hertz is one of the hot ones. I'm going to buy some shares or whatever they do or whatever type of position they decided to get into. If they were beginners and didn't know a lot and still very new to trading and they saw that headline, they got screwed, right? So another really bad thing about Robinhood. And again, this list is long, right? Another terrible thing is the fact that they glitch very often, right? I've heard stories of people not being able to get into their account, it lagging, and they can't put in orders, or their portfolio size went from $1,000 to $1 million, and then I've seen some people where their account went from $1,000 to negative 1 million, and I know you guys have probably heard stories about that one young kid that killed himself because he thought he was down, negative $400,000 when it was just a glitch in Robinhood, right? So again, terrible, terrible platform. And finally, my last reason behind why I can't stand Robinhood and why this was the last straw for me with Robinhood. And now, mind you, I only got on Robinhood because I wanted to try it out and see what it was what it was about, right? Everybody, I always heard, oh, I'm on Robinhood, everybody's using this. So I got onto it. I mean, even though I've got other brokers that I got my money in, I tried to test out Robinhood. In this particular scenario, I bought a contract for $100. I was down 50%. I wanted to get out. The stock price and the contract pricing on Thinkorswim was going up in value. So it's called the mark price. So whatever the mark price is, you can get out at that price, right? I tried to get out at that price. It wouldn't let me in Robinhood. I set the price for half of that price. So basically at a 25% or a 75% loss, and I still couldn't get it out. I ended up losing that entire position down to zero because Robinhood wouldn't initiate my order. Right. So that really upset me. And that was the last straw for me. And I never touched Robinhood again. Right. So now, brokers that are out there, there's tons. There's really good ones. Fidelity's decent. Vanguard's decent. Schwab is decent. Schwab has a what do you call it? Their own application that's for advanced users and options trading, which is called Street Smart Edge. They're actually going to be doing away with that because they bought out TD Ameritrade and they're going to end up owning Thinkorswim. So I wouldn't bother with Schwab. If you're going to do Schwab, just go straight to TD Ameritrade. You're going to get, they're going to end up owning, Schwab's going to end up owning TD Ameritrade anyways. Now, there's also Webull, there's E-Trade, there's TradeStation, there's a couple others, but the ones that I personally recommend, especially if you're just a Robinhood trader only and you don't have experience on other platforms and you're new to the market, Webull is going to be your best bet. It's kind of the easiest platform to use. It's like a stepping stone from Robinhood. It does offer some charting. It does offer indicators. It does offer the option chain. So it's a great place to start. And it also, you get free stocks, right? You sign up, they run promotions. So if you sign up, you get 2 free stocks for depositing $100. I have a link so that if you use my link, you can get an additional free stock. So you'll get three stocks total, right? That's an option, or that's a choice. Also, for more advanced users, I recommend Thinkorswim. I think it's the best platform out there, hands down. It is very complex and complicated. So if you don't know the basics, you don't know what an option chain is, you don't know how to chart or indicators, any of that kind of stuff, I recommend you start at Webull. Okay. So if anybody does want to take advantage of the link for a free stock, I'm going to post it in my channel. But by no means am I trying to just get free stock here. I just want you to get off of Robinhood. Do yourself that kind of favor. You can go to Thinkorswim. More complex, you can use Schwab or whatever. It doesn't matter. Just do yourself a favor and get off of Robinhood. Does anybody have any questions about that?
Yeah, I got a question. How do you choose the best strike price? How do you differentiate with that?
1 second, Nike. Someone else said they had a question right before you were talking. Who was that?
Yeah, it was me.
Who's me? There's a lot of people here. Sorry.
Dan, Raw Dog Dan. I was wondering if you can can you switch your whole portfolio over from like Robinhood to Webull, or do you have to just start a whole new account?
So you do have to start a new account. You can do a transfer. They will give you some type of reimbursement for the transfer, but in my opinion, if I were you, what I would do is just open the account. Whatever the money that you've got in your Robinhood, I would go ahead and deposit that into your Webull account from your bank account, and then unload your positions in Robinhood and pull that back into your bank. Right? That way you save yourself fees. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I also have like shares. Would I just have to pull those out?
Yeah, you're gonna have to. I mean, again, I believe that you can transfer that if you've got like a really amazing price on that stock, then I can understand why you wouldn't want to liquidate them, right? So in that scenario, I would say to just transfer it over.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, was it Nike socks that had the question?
Me Nike socks. I was
Yeah.
saying, how do you differentiate and how do you get like the best strike price, like the best value and stuff?
Okay, so the strike price is going to be the best reason to choose strike pricing is going to be a few things, right? So number one, it's going to be how much money can you afford, first of all. And normally I tell people never do more than 5% of your account in one position. You know that protects your account from getting blown up, right? So you don't want to over allocate a position, and then if you put 20% or 50% into one position and then it goes against you, you just crushed your account, right? So make sure that whatever position you do get into is no more than 5% of your account, okay? And then what I would suggest is, okay, so let's say for example, let's see Tesla right now. So let me just real quick do a calculation here. Okay, so if my account size is $10,000, right, and I want to buy a position on Tesla, I would go with the 670, right? It's 485. 5% of 10,000 is going to be $500, right? So that's an example of the type of strike that you'd be looking for. So the next thing I would do is once you're able to determine what your 5% number is, then you're going to look at open interest, right? And open interest is important because if you don't have a lot of open interest, it's going to be hard to get into that position, and it's going to be even harder to get out, right? So if you're making money, you're in profit, and there's not much open interest there, no one's going to buy that back from you, right? When you go to sell it. So, and I would say the general rule of thumb you want to have with just one contract is going to be about 1,000 open interest. If you don't see something like that or higher, I would avoid that spot, and I would go look for a different strike, right? And you can softly adjust your position size. So for example, let's say the 670 strike here that's on my screen, let's say that open interest was like 500, but the one above it right here, let's say that one, it had 2,000, right? And the price is 485 for the lower one and 590 for this one. So 500 would have been 5% of a $10,000 account. 590 is going to be 6%.
Hi.
It's okay to go up.
Oh yeah, from Gagan. Yeah, I saw it.
1%. Who's that? If you could please mute your mic.
Will V, could you mute your mic, please?
Sorry about that. One sec.
So it's okay to go up 1% to 6%, even probably 7%. If you got a really small account, 10% is probably okay. So if you got like $1,000, I mean, let's face it, 10% is $100. You're not going to get too many trades for that, right? So there is that option or choice where you're going to have to make based on the size of your account. If you've got $50,000, I'd say definitely stick to the 5% number. If you got $1,000, you might have to do a 10% or 20% position here or there to really increase the value of your stocks or your portfolio size rather. And honestly, if you've only got $1,000, you should be swinging shares. You shouldn't be doing options. You're going to lose that money, almost guaranteed. I just think share swings with low dollar amounts are the right way to go. It might take a little longer, but once you get to $5,000 or $10,000, then it's a lot easier for you to play options and abide by the 5% rule. Okay. Does anybody have any questions on that, or did that answer your question, Nike socks?
It did. Thank you.
I have a question.
Okay.
So I used to play with I used to have a 10,000 in my account, but somehow I lost that money because of my.
You lost that money because of what?
And I have a 1,000 in my.
You're breaking up.
It's
You're breaking
Oh,
up a
really?
little bit. Yeah, sorry.
How about now? Oh, sorry about that. How about now? Can you hear me?
I think it's better now.
Okay, so my question is, most of the trades you guys tell is like over, I would say 200 or maybe like 300, and
Can you
I
take
mean,
the country on?
and I mean, yeah, so, something like 400, but I usually like,
Okay.
so I mean, can you guys tell like maybe position which is like a more obvious position that I should go, and which should be like lower than 100 or maybe lower than $200?
So if somebody alerts a position that's going to cost $300,
Uh-huh.
what you should do is look at the option chain and determine where does your price range fit in, and does that open interest on that strike price fit, right? I mean, so
Okay, okay.
okay, so does that make sense for you?
Yeah, okay, that makes sense for me actually.
Yeah, so I mean,
So, okay, one question is, hello, I think I have a really bad internet connection.
yeah, you kind of went back out in and out again on that when you
Hel-
said you had another question.
Okay, so, okay, yeah, I have another question. So another question is, let's take an example of Tesla. Tesla, I think you said that just buy it for let's say 670, 670 is a, let's say, strike price, and we are buying for like $500. At that time, I don't have a $500 in my account. I heard on like only $200. So I have to look only for the open interest, or do I also have to look for the delta, theta, and I would say volume as well. So do I also have to take care of those stuff as well when I'm
No,
going for like a higher strike? Let's
no. So
Okay.
the one thing you got to understand, the Greeks, they just help determine the pricing of the contract. They don't actually give you any real reason why you should or shouldn't use that strike, right? Um, like theta, for example, is going to be this is how much you lose on this contract a day, right? Or delta is going to be this is how much the contract price is going to move in value
Okay.
when the strike positions make a bump, right? Um, so if you're looking to invest 200 instead of 600 or 500, then you got to find the position that's going to better fit that, right? So I would say this one right here. Oops. Let's say you got $200 that you want to invest. The 720 is going to be better for you, right? So it doesn't matter which strike price you go with, because you're not necessarily trying to expect the price to move to that number. You're just wanting the stock price to move up, right? And if as long as it moves up in a short time period, you're going to make money, right? So um, a lot of the times, some of the people that do the alerts, they'll do scalping, which is like day trades. So for example, if I were to day trade Tesla tomorrow, I'd probably use this December 11th contract, right? And then I would go in here and look for the strike price that I'm interested in, or the contract price rather, right? Because the strike really doesn't make a difference to me. It's the contract price and then open interest. Okay. Now, the difference between the open interest and volume is going to be open interest is the amount of contracts that are currently opened on that strike. The volume is the amount of contracts that have been closed on that particular position, right?
Oh, okay. All right.
So, you know, volume is not necessarily the most important thing. It's more open interest, and the strike price, the contract price on the strike, right? And obviously, bid ask spread is going to make a difference. You don't want to have a really wide spread. You want to have a really close spread if you can help it, right? So like this 22.35 and 22.40 on this at the money strike of 600, that's a really close, very very close um, spread. Whereas let's see if I can find one here that's somewhat wide. This one right here looks about to be the widest, so that's going to be $25 difference versus this one's $5, right? The wider it is, that means that one side is lopsided. So let's say, for example, this strike, it's 400 and 520, right? That's very lopsided. You don't want to get into that. That's going to affect your contract price. So that's not a good position to be into, because there's more buyers or more sellers, and really what you want is to have equal amount on both sides. That makes it easier to get in and out of that contract. Okay.
Okay. So one more question. I mean, okay, so you guys use actually Amtrade. I don't have this software. So is there any other software? So I'm using basically Webull, we actually can see there. But uh, is there any other online software that we can actually use to analyze this stuff, like where I can see the volume, open interest, something like that?
No, the option chain that's what the option chain does for you, right? I don't think you can go onto a website that's going to show you option chain data, right? So Webull does have option chains. I know it does. Thinkorswim. I mean, honestly, if you use Webull to trade, you can still open an account on Thinkorswim or TD Ameritrade and use Thinkorswim just for charting, right? You don't have to trade on there. You can open an account there, and if you want to just use Webull to do your actual trading, then you can, right?
No, actually, I use Amtrade as well, but I don't have a software. I'm using Ubuntu. I use Linux for that, and somehow I'm not able to install because of there's some things are missing over there. So that's the reason I was trying to understand if there is maybe like Finviz is a website. I don't think so. I can see over there an option chain. There's a no. I haven't seen so far. So that's why. I mean, otherwise, I need to buy and maybe Mac or something to see Amtrade option chain.
Yeah. So
John,
with
negative mount.
Ubuntu, that's open source, right? It's free.
Right.
They probably don't have their application geared towards something like that. I mean, if you had like maybe Red Hat Enterprise Linux or something like that, you might be able to get it, or Mac is Linux in the background. I know they have it, and
Yeah.
Windows. So that might be your problem.
Right. Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
That's really useful for me.
All right, awesome. Okay.
Hi, I got a question too, real quick.
Okay, who is that? Sorry.
Yeah, this is W Pressa. Just real quick, one question.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm a new trader. Actually used to use Robinhood for a while, but I hate it too as well. I actually lost thousands of it. So I love you guys Discord here and love what you guys are doing. But I just want some advice for a new trader that's starting off with another couple hundred. And I'm just also wondering if there's any restrictions with Webull, if there's like any day trading restrictions, just like Robinhood.
So there are, every broker has the PDT rule, but with Webull and Thinkorswim and some others, you can open up a cash account, and that cash account is going to allow you to day trade without penalty, right? So
okay.
Definitely do that. And somebody just asked me for my Webull link. I'm going to post it in my channel. Hopefully you guys know where my channel is. It's in the education tab, very top. Webull link is there if you want to use that. But again, Webull, Thinkorswim, just make sure when you sign up for a particular broker that you are able to select cash account. And if you're unsure if you've done that properly, and I would recommend contacting them directly to see, hey, did I sign up for cash account, which enables me to day trade without getting flagged as a PDT.
What is the risk with a cash account?
There's no risk. I'm not sure I understand though what you mean, like margin type of risk.
Um, yeah, I don't know, just like a risk. Like, say you only have like like $1,500 in your cash account or whatever, and you go over. I don't know if there was just some kind of like.
Oh no, you can't.
Okay,
Only a margin account you can go into negative or borrowed funds.
understood. Thank
Okay,
you.
and then just to clarify with the cash account, so there's with Webull, there's like no restrictions, right? You said you could literally trade whenever.
Yeah, so the only drawback is you have to wait for your funds to settle. So for example, let's say you got $1,000, you traded all $1,000 today. I believe it takes 24 hours for that money to settle back into your account. So let's say, for example, you got in and out of a trade today, and you used all $1,000. You have to wait until tomorrow to use that money again. It'll settle the next trading day, typically. At the latest, it's 48 hours. But I'm almost certain that if you trade today at 3:50 p.m. and you get out of that trade at 3:55, that money will be available first thing in the morning, market open.
Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Juan, did you had a question?
I have a question. Sorry. Does somebody else have a question, or should I go for that?
Juan
I
had
have
a
a
question, I think. Juan, you there? All right, he must be away.
Okay, so yeah, my question is, since I have a really small account, so it's not a really small, but it's small account. So what are the things actually you suggest us to really, make sure that you should basically consider those things as a prior one, What are your suggestions that we should really consider for a small account? Because I think I started with a small one like a year back. I always deposit money and then lose it, always deposit money and then lose it. So I joined your group and it's really helpful. I'm that's why I'm starting with a small one and I'm also learning as well. But what are your suggestions that you really wanna, we should consider if we have a really small account, so that in if I'm doing any trade, I'll make sure, okay, I'm following your suggestions to do the other trades as well.
So really small accounts, it's going to be hard for you to be able to get into very many positions, right? What I recommend with
Yeah.
smaller accounts is going to be just to swing shares, right? That's it. Just buy shares, get it at a low price, and then you can flip them for a higher price, right? And you can continuously do that. You can do that every other day, right? I've been in positions where, I've bought an equity today, it went up tomorrow 5% or 10%, and I got out of it. And then in 3 days or 4 days or 5 days, maybe next week, it fell back down to the same price that I paid before. I get back in it, and then it goes right back up to that same number that I sold before. Boom, I sell it again. Right? In that particular scenario, I put $700 into a position. It went up to $90. I sold it. It fell back down to that number that I initially got into, brought it again. It went back up to the same price that I sold it before, made another $90. So within a week, I made $180 off of doing something like that. So you can do that with share swinging and low. That's what I recommend everybody with a very small account do. With options, you're just going to lose money.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm doing. So do we have a share alerts as well? Because I think I'm always go for the option alerts. Do we have a share alerts as well in our
Yes,
option?
Tilio does
Okay.
alert shares. Let me see what the channel name is here.
Sorry to interrupt again. This is Juan M. When you have a moment, I do have a question. I was just having problems with my setup, but I'm here.
All right, yeah, okay, Juan. We'll get to you here shortly.
Hostile. It's called long term.
Is it in long term? Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would be a channel I would look into. Also, I'm going to be alerting stuff again here pretty soon, and I do shares. So look for my channel to start lighting up here pretty soon as far as alerting goes. So, and I think, let's see, I think Joe also does shares. Yeah, so those would be the three channels that I recommend.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Hello?
I'm sorry. Can you repeat the 3 channels once again?
It's going to be long term, Joe, and my channel, which is not there yet. I'm gonna be getting back into share swings and credit spreads here in the near future. So once my channel, it'll just say hostile, although I might end up having FaZe do option selling with me, so we might share a channel. So we'll see, but look for at least those 2 channels for now, Joe and long term, and then once mine pops back up, it'll either say hostile or hostile FaZe, something like that. So just look for that one when it does show up.
Can we also get a breakdown of what channel is best for what actually in the new traders? Because sometimes, you know, when you know so much information, I don't find that in the new traders channel. If we can for what, that'll be really helpful.
Sure. I can go over that. Let me just write that down.
Well, I have a quick question.
So I did have so there was, it sounded like, so I know Juan wanted to ask a question. There's someone else wanted to ask a question, and then who is that that's talking right now?
I don't know if you guys can hear me, but it's Valencia. I have a question also.
Okay, 1 second, Valencia. We'll get to you after the other folks that were in line go, if that's all right.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome. Okay, so, all right, Juan, you still there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, go for it.
I just got out of Robinhood and I started the TD Ameritrade. I'm not on TOS yet, but I'm trying to get used to the platform because I really want to use it. Do you recommend that I just go to Webull or stick to trying to get this figured out?
You said you were on Thinkorswim now?
No, just the standard one. The
Oh,
TD Ameritrade. Yeah.
okay.
Because I was on Robinhood and I just switched and I transferred all my funds over. But I heard you earlier saying that Webull might be a bit easier. Or do you recommend I just stay with the account I have now at Ameritrade?
So it sounds like you're using just the regular version of TD Ameritrade. If you're looking at my screen, that's actually Thinkorswim, which is owned by TD Ameritrade. The Webull platform is better than TD Ameritrade's website platform, but it's not as good as TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim's platform. However, Webull is a lot simpler to learn than Thinkorswim. Does that help answer your question?
Yeah, it does. Just because I already switched all my funds over to TD, the Ameritrade. Is it wise to try to learn that system now, or just open a new account at Webull?
That's totally up to you. I mean, if you're not in a hurry to get into trades, I would say use Webull because, again, I think it's a lot easier to learn than Thinkorswim is, and it even offers free trades, right? So if you're doing options, you don't have to pay for contract pricing, whereas Thinkorswim, it costs 65 cents per contract. And so, for example, if I buy a contract to get into a position, it costs 65 cents. If I sell that same contract to exit the position, it's another 65 cents. Whereas Webull, it doesn't cost you anything. Now, some people may think that $1.30 round trip pricing for contracts is fine. They're okay with it. Some think it attacks their bottom line, which, I understand that. And, when I do credit spreads, which is 2 contracts per position, it now costs me $1.30 to get in, $1.30 to get out. Right? So that affects my bottom line because when I look for my profit targets on credit spreads are 15%. and that's usually $10, $15, so that really affects my bottom line. So, if you're kind of one of those people that you think that that option price affects you more negatively than positively as far as the broker goes, then, Webull may be the one for you, right?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And again, if you do go decide to Webull, do use my link. You get free stock. So there's that. There's that benefit
Hey,
as
Hasso,
well.
who's talking? I can
Okay.
send him a pretty good TOS tutorial link.
That
Juan M.
Yep.
All right, I'll DM you one right now.
Thank you, man.
Okay, and
Could you just post that tutorial link somewhere?
Yeah, I'll post it in the premium chat.
here, Mario, why don't you send it to me, and then I'll post it in the TD Ameritrade channel.
Got it, boss.
Okay, so Money Blossom, you wanted me to go over which channels are good for what. Is that correct? As far as the alerting?
Yes, that would be really helpful.
Okay, so starting at the top, Tilio's channel, majority of his stuff is going to be scalping. So in and out same day. Every once in a while, he'll hold a position longer than a day. All right, Stock Daddy, I think his stuff is more swings. So let me just take a quick look at his channel again to make sure I'm giving you the correct information. Yeah, so his look like swings. So it could be a few days, it could be a week, something similar to that. I think he does scalp some as well, but I'm not totally sure on. I have to read through everything, but it does definitely look like swing trading for him. Joe, he does swing trading as well. I believe he also does shares. Let me just take a quick look at his channel. So he also does what looks to be scalping. So he's in and out of positions same day as well. I'm seeing, I'm seeing BA and Snap on the same day. He does have a swing trade, silver, SLV. I see that one on the 3rd. Expiration's 115. So, and he even says on his little thing there, says, here's a low cost swing. So he does swing trading, but he also looks like he does scalps. I think he's more 50-50 on that. I'm not seeing his share announcements, but I do remember him stating that he was buying shares before, so I wouldn't cancel that out of him. Moving down to Cal. Cal's mainly a day trader. He will do swings. I have seen it in the past. Same thing with Zabes. Zabes is going to be a day trader for the most part, but he does also swing. And again, swings are anywhere from a few days to a week out or 2 weeks. It just depends on when he decides he thinks is a good time to get out of a position. The AI alert scalps, these are going to be just like I said, scalps. So in and out. And when you do something with the AI or the quant data bot, that needs to be very fast scalping. So you got to get in at the same time it does the alert, and you got to get out as soon as you see profit. This is something you cannot hold. So if you decide to use the quantum data bot, you need to make sure that you get in and out of that position very fast, right? So if you see a 5% return within 30 seconds, get out. That's how I trade it. I've had to hold a position a little bit longer because I missed out and it went down like 70% down, and then it came back up the same day. So, I ended up making like 2% return on it, which is fine. I didn't lose. Like I said, I was down 70% when I got into it, and I missed the alert, or the not alert, but I missed the opportunity. I didn't take the 5% return that I saw within 30 seconds, literally. And as soon as I did not take it, it tanked. So I had to hold that position for the rest of the day. until about 3:30 p.m. where I was finally able to get about a 2% return. I was really lucky. Do know that if you do the AI Alert Scalps channel with the Quantum Data Bot, it must be very quick. Okay, so the long-term trades position or channel, that's going to be mainly shares. I know Tilio throws in leaps in there every once in a while, but he definitely does shares here as well. I'd say mainly shares. Let me just take a quick look. Well, I'd say maybe 50-50. I'm seeing 50-50 here. I'm seeing shares and leaps. Leaps are basically 3 to 6 month out long-term contracts, option contracts. I do see more shares on that channel. So do pay attention to that if that's what you're interested in. Lottery trades are just that. It's a lottery. It's not meant to, it's, think of when you go buy a lottery ticket, like a $20 scratch off, you're not expecting to win anything, but if you do, you could win big. That's what the lottery trades channel is. And the question responses and bot questions are just that if you guys ask a question to the bot, it'll send a message to this bot questions channel, and our support staff will look at that and see that, and they'll reply to that question, and it'll show up in the question responses channel. So does that help, Money Blossom?
Definitely helps. Thank you.
All right, you're
One
welcome.
question, I know somebody else is waiting, but just really quickly, when you suggested that if you're in Robinhood to kind of exit all your positions, if you do that all at once, does that penalize you in any way? Is that considered like multiple day trades when you just like dump everything?
No. So day trades basically means you get in and out of a trade. So you get into a position today and you get out of that position today. That's a day trade. But if
Okay,
you
thank you.
if you have 10 other positions and you got into them on Friday, then you get out of them on tomorrow, that's not considered a day trade. There will be no penalty. You don't pay any fees or anything.
Okay, so it's okay to dump everything in one day. Okay,
Yeah.
thanks.
You're welcome. Now, if you have something that's a really amazing price, like let's say you bought Tesla at 350 and it's at 600 right now, and you want to keep holding it, that's something I would transfer. I wouldn't dump that. Unless if you're happy with the profit, which I can't imagine anybody that wouldn't for almost 100% return. But if you want to continue to hold a position because you got a really good price on it, then maybe consider transferring it instead.
Okay.
Is there a cost for that? I heard that there's like a $75 cost.
Yeah, so I do believe I know that there is a cost to transfer. However, I know that Webull will. Let me see here. I do believe that they have the option to, or they'll pay you, or they'll give you money, refund you $100. I think it's $100 for transfer costs, up to $100. Let me just check that 1 second.
I know TDA does cover you up to $100 for transfer fees, Hostel.
Yeah, they do. Yep. Let's see.
With Webull, your account size just has to be $2,000.
To get the free transfer or something. Is that right?
Yeah, to get the $100 rebate, you just have to have the account size of 2,000 at the minimum.
Yeah, okay, so I see it. It says transfer your non-Webull brokerage account over to us, and we will cover the transfer fees up to $100. Your incoming brokerage account must have at least 2,000 or more in assets in order for us to reimburse the transfer fee. Mario, do you know how much is required on Thinkorswim to be able to transfer for them to give you the $100?
He didn't give me a requirement. He just said it was allowed to be transferred over.
That would be helpful because I'm sure there's a requirement.
I'll call them today or tomorrow. I don't think they're open today. and figure that out for you guys.
Cool. Yeah, just message me and then I'll post it in the TD Ameritrade channel. Thanks. Okay, Velishnia. Was it Velish?
Yes, that's me.
Okay.
My question was, if I have a contract in Tesla at two existing contracts for the date that it goes out is 2023, and I have two contracts, and I said it was going to go to 500, and now I said 600. My bad. If I wanted to buy existing contracts, would that put those contracts in negative if it's already past the strike price?
If you wanted to buy them,
Yeah, buy more contracts at 500, even though it's past 500.
So why? First question is, why would you want to buy more contracts now that they're in the money?
To hold it, because it closes 2023. So I was just gonna buy more and just keep them all into 2023.
And so you just want to hold it, and are you expecting the price to go up further? Is that the goal?
Yes.
Okay, so I wouldn't go in the money. I would buy at the money. So for that, and you're talking about January 2023, right?
Yes.
So I would go with the 600 strike. Number one, it's going to be a lot cheaper than what was the other one? 500 you had?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's going to be, looks like $3,000 or $4,000 cheaper to buy at the money, and as the price goes in the money. So let's say, for example, the stock price, you buy a 600 strike, the stock price goes to 700. You're going to see more value on that 600 strike that's at the money versus the 500 strike that's in the money, right? So your current 500 strike that's in the money, that's going to continue to increase exponentially. That's exactly what you're looking for. If you were to buy another contract in the money at 500 strike, it's not going to benefit you as good. The exponentiality of that increase in stock price or contract price isn't going to be like that of the at the money strike. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I had a question. Can I go? Can you put me in line for like the next question?
Sure. I think. I mean, there's no one else in line, so do ask.
Wait.
This is Danny. Do you mind if I go after him?
Sure.
Dinesh.
Danny. Who was it?
Yeah, Danny.
Danny.
And then D Sampley after that.
D Sampley. Okay. All right. Anybody else want to be added in the queue?
This before any more questions. I'm actually gonna have to go. I'm streaming, so sorry to anybody that's watching this. But if somebody else wants to stream, it's pretty simple. You just click start stream. You stream your screen and then just click onto hostiles. But thank you for the answers and questions.
You're welcome.
Yo, can I ask my question? Someone ahead of me.
Who is that? I'm sorry.
This is Treep.
Okay, go ahead, Treep.
Basically, I on Thursday I asked what should I do, really like to get started, and you told me to compile a list of like some stocks, like 10 of them, and like watch them religiously. I also went through your entire Discord channel and I watched all the videos, and I drew all the support and resistance lines for most of the stocks, I think. And these are like stocks I researched and I believe in most of the part. And I messaged you like and then you told me like find a trading strategy, but I mean if you're using standard deviation and like playing off of that, that's pretty interesting, and I want to learn how to do that, honestly. So Like I would want to like start by learning your trading strategy, I guess.
So my trading strategy, I think, is honestly really simple. I do mainly shares. Some of my more complex trading are credit spreads, um, iron condors, iron butterflies, but I'll never alert iron condors and butterflies. I will only do credit spreads because they're the simplest out of option selling. But um, basically, the standard deviation channels are more of just um, a confirmation for me. Like if I'm trading something, for example, uh, I always use support and resistance and trend. Right, that's my core strategy, is to determine support, resistance, and then which direction is the trend. Is it down? Is it up? And the way you can determine trend is higher lows and higher highs, or lower lows and lower highs, right? So
Yeah.
that's a really good way to understand trend. And the way to not necessarily determine when something's going to reverse, but more or less get a better idea of it's going to reverse soon, is, let's say, for example, the stock price is going down. You got lower lows and lower highs. The range between, matter of fact, let me see if I can find something. It'd be a lot better for me to show you specifically than to just talk about it. So let me just find something real quick. Bear with me.
All right. I'm pretty sure I understand trend pretty well. I use what is it called? I use a 180-day moving, simple moving average. But yeah, I mean, if I just evaluate. Okay, if it's above it, I mean, no, I don't use that to determine if it's uptrend or downtrend. It's like you said, higher highs and higher lows for an uptrend, lower highs and lower lows for a downtrend.
Okay, here's one.
Lower lows and lower highs.
Okay, so let me get my circles here. So let's start with this.
Okay.
Oh my lord. So first I'm going to draw these out. Okay, so it drops, has a lower high, lower low. Drops, lower high, and a lower low. Drops again, lower high, lower low. Again and again. Right? This is the final one. The moment that it breaks that lowest high, right?
Yeah.
And then either starts to go sideways or continues breaking other previous highs, that's a trend reversal. Right? So a lot of what you want to see is consolidation. So it falls and then just kind of goes sideways. Sideways movement is basically consolidation. Yeah, it had a pump up, but then it came right back down. That's what I call consolidation. This whole entire section here is a consolidation section. Let me just draw out. So this whole area is consolidation. It goes within a range and it goes sideways. And then it had a huge rip above its last big high, which is right here. All right, and it broke every high previous to it. And that's when you know, especially when it does a gap like this, guaranteed trend reversal, 100%. Right, so it has to break other highs and stay above it and continue breaking other previous highs. Right, that's how you know you get a trend reversal. And when a trend reversal is impending or potentially on the horizon, it's easy to see in the sense that it's going, the stock has hit a low and it's going sideways. Right, it might retest that low like it did here. It actually went through it a little bit, but then it ripped right above it the next couple of days. Right, so that's one way to determine that. And with standard deviation, if you look here on this chart, it's down near the second standard deviation channel. It's not quite there, let's go a little bit further out. So again, standard deviation helps you see a range of where the stock price is moving anyways, right? So you can tell here that if it hits a really low low here underneath the second standard deviation channel for Citibank or Citigroup, it's going to have a rip, and it fell right back to the green and ripped again, right? And then it just kind of traveled in this range, and then at some point it had this small dip here near the second standard deviation channel, and then it went all the way up to the third on the top, right? So that's how I use the standard deviation channel, is more of a confirmation to say, okay, what I'm seeing on support and resistance and trend goes in line with what I'm seeing with standard deviation channels. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I remember, I mean, so you basically just use support and resistance and some technical analysis, and that's how you determine how to enter, right? Like
Yes.
okay, so do you say you enter a trade, and you said standard deviation is just a confirmation. What if there's no confirmation on the standard deviation? You wouldn't trade it, right?
Well, it depends on a lot of other factors, right? I mean, am I doing shares? Am I doing options? What's the implied volatility if I'm doing shares? What's the trend direction on the particular stock? What month of the year is it? What time frame of the year? There's a lot of factors that go into it, right? So that's why I said you got to figure out a strategy, because once you have a strategy and you have a checklist of things that need to check out before you decide to get into a position, that's going to help you become a lot more successful.
Okay, so do you think I should go study the charts again and have the standard deviation loaded? Well, I do have it loaded. I just have them loaded up and just figure out, okay, if it hits this standard deviation, I'll just enter in, and just based off of what I'm seeing. I mean, from what I'm looking at, I wouldn't enter into a trade if it's consolidating, even if it's approaching a standard deviation. But if it was downtrending, and then I mean, I don't know how to create the strategies. What I'm saying is, like, I don't know where I would think. I mean, you see that? I don't know. What do you think I should do to create the strategy? Should I just use the standard deviation channels, use what I know about support and resistance, and try to like figure out an entry?
Figure out a goal. What's your long-term goal? Don't think short-term. What's your long-term goal? What do you want to do? What do you want to accomplish? Do you want to just make weekly money? Do you want to make monthly money? Or do you want to save for retirement? Do you want to quit your job? You got to think way beyond what you're thinking right now, right? Because the goal here for me is consistent returns monthly, right? I want to quit my job and I want to retire without paying taxes. There's a few other things, but those are basically the two main things. Is I don't want to work for anybody anymore. I want to work for myself, right? So your long-term goals need to match your short-term strategy, right? So then you got to determine, okay, what type of trading is going to fit between those two? What type of trading is going to connect those two together? Right? Is it going to be swing trading shares? Is it going to be doing credit spreads? Is it going to be doing options, option buying? Is it going to be cash puts? Is it going to be calendars? Is it going to be diagonals? I mean, I can't answer that for you because I don't know you at all. So I can't begin to start saying, well, this is going to work for you or this isn't. I don't know how old you are. I don't know how much money you've got. All that. There's a lot of stuff that goes into determining what your goals should be, or what goals you want to set for yourself, what strategy that you want to do, what type of trading you're interested in, and then how to connect them, right? That's something you're going to have to figure out. I can help answer specific questions based off of, what standard deviation channels are, support and resistance. But to formulate the strategy and goals for you yourself, that's something that you're going to have to figure out.
All right. I think I have the goals down, and I want to try straight swing trading using the standard deviation, and but I don't know.
If you're not confident, I recommend you virtual trade before you start doing it.
Yeah, I'm going to use a cash paper. I'm going to use a paper account.
Yeah, build some confidence before you start doing it.
I obviously don't have any because I don't have a strategy, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, and look, I've been doing this for 12 years. It took me 7 years to figure out what I wanted to do. Right? So that's the purpose of why we started this Discord, is to speed people up, give them the tools and the learning and the education to be able to find those strategies and goals a lot sooner, right? We're trying to help people get there in a year or two, not 7 like it took me.
Yeah, I see.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to ask, and I don't know what to do at the same time. I guess, like you said,
It's going to take some soul searching. I'll be honest with you. You're not going to find it tonight. You're not going to find it in a week, right? You're just going to have to. You're going to have to continuously go through the process of finding things, making mistakes, asking questions, finding answers. You know, I mean, I've watched so many videos out there, and after probably, a year's worth of watching videos straight of time, that is, I might have found what I was looking for. I mean, there's one quote from Robert Kiyosaki that I'm going to say that I say every time I got this live Q&A. A statement closes the mind, a question opens it, right? So if you make a statement that you can't do something or this is hard, you're never going to do it. But instead, you ask the question, how can I do this? How can I be successful? How can I learn the strategy or the goals, or how can I do things to be successful? Then you're going to start looking for answers, and you may not find the answer you're looking for today. You might not find it in a month, but along the way, you're going to find answers to other things that you're going to be asking in the future, right? So you might not find the answer you're looking for your specific thing that you're searching out, but in 3 months, a question might pop up and say, oh, you know what? I remember 3 months ago, I found that answer and this is what it was. And then you're going to dig into that, right? So it's constantly challenging yourself, constantly asking questions, and constantly finding answers, right?
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. Okay, Danny was next.
Hey, bud. Hey, man, I appreciate your time, man. On a Sunday night, I'm watching football and multitasking. But I had a question, man. I'm trying to do some. I'm trying to do some option trading. I've never done it. The only thing I hold right now is Tesla shares, but I've always been kind of scared of doing an option call. What do you recommend for this week? Something to start off with.
I recommend you virtual trade. Get a feel for how the options world works, right? Get a feel for how theta decay works. Get a feel for implied volatility. If you've never experienced it before, virtual trading is going to give you just a little bit of insight into that world, right? I mean, virtual trading and live trading are two totally different things, right? When you virtual trade, you're not going to see the same exact things that happen in the live trading, right? What I would recommend though, virtual trading, number one, do that. Okay, get familiarized with option chains, get familiarized with open interest, implied volatility, bid-ask spreads, theta decay, right? Familiarize yourself with those. And then once you're done doing that, once you feel confident about it and you understand everything to where you don't have to question, well, what is this or what is that? Then you can start looking at some of the alert channels, Tilios. I mean, all of them are good traders.
Where would you recommend going for virtual trading? Is that like an app, or is that kind of like fake money?
So what broker are you using right now?
I'm using Robinhood.
Okay, so were you on earlier when I discussed why Robinhood is trash?
Yeah, it was.
Okay. So all right, so I don't have to go through that.
No, you don't have to. I will probably use your link for what is it, Webull?
Yeah, so Webull is going to offer you virtual trading with shares. Right?
Okay.
They don't allow option virtual trading. Thinkorswim does allow it.
Thinkorswim, okay.
Yeah, so you can do it in Thinkorswim.
And as far as taxes coming up, what's normally how much do we get taxed on? And is there a way that we can go around it and not pay so much taxes? I'm new to this, so sorry, but
Yes, there's yes answers to all of that, or there's answers to all those questions. So with taxes, consider it this. Let's say you make, let's just for easy numbers, you make $100,000 a year, and your tax bracket is for federal level is at 23%. Okay. Let's say you make $10,000. It keeps you underneath that second bracket, which I think is 116,000. It keeps you underneath that level, but you're going to pay 23% tax on that 10 grand, right? So you're going to pay $2,300 in tax on that.
is there anything like tax write-offs that you know of, or
yes,
loops, or?
I do. I'm going to get that here in a second. But
okay,
just think of it as regular income, and you're going to pay regular income tax on that money. Okay. So going to the how to save money on taxation. Real estate. It's the only way you can save money on income tax, right? Because I'm not going to go too deeply in how to do it other than the fact that there's write-offs, depreciation, maintenance, homeowner association, tax on the property itself, those kinds of things. Depreciation value is going to be the best one. So let's say, for example, and I know this is going to help you with stocks right now. If you don't have the money to buy real estate, I get that. And I'm more or less giving you some future information.
No, because I'm actually I'm looking for a home too, so that's actually pretty helpful.
So personal residence is not the same thing. Okay, you're not going to be able to write very much off of personal residence, if anything at all.
It's going to be more of an investment.
Okay,
property.
so let's say you paid $300,000 for a property.
Uh-huh.
Divide that into 27 and a half. Your depreciation value is $10,900. So that basically means that whatever return you make off of that property, you subtract off of $10,900 every year. So let's say you make, let me get another calculator up. Let's say you make $300 a month after mortgage is paid, real estate, rental
Utilities.
companies paid, tax, everything's paid for, and you make $300, right? And times 12, that's $3,600. If your depreciation value is $10,900, okay,
You're only making $2,000, right?
well, you still have a $7,300 left.
True.
That can be used as write-off money. So
okay.
Off of your income, you can start writing off $7,300 worth.
Okay.
Because that depreciation value translates into all income. It doesn't just translate into, the property itself. It's basically, this is how much money I made this year. This is my depreciation value on my rental property. So you can write off $10,900 every year off of that property for 27 and a half years.
Wow.
Okay. And that doesn't go into that doesn't even include if you've got to send a maintenance repairman over to fix a wall or a water leak or something like that. That stuff is
repairs. Okay.
Also write-offable.
Cool, man. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. But again, there's more. I'm not done.
Okay. I didn't want to take up your time. Thanks, man.
If you are investing in retirement, let's say you got a 401k at work. Stop. Don't invest in a 401k anymore. Open a Roth IRA and invest $6,000 a year into that. So contribute $6,000 a year. That's the max. If you can, put $6,000 towards it. And you can trade that like a normal account. You can trade shares, you can trade options, you can do mutual funds, indexes, whatever you want to do. Okay. Annuities, whatever. You can trade that in your Roth IRA, and the profit that you make is non-taxable. So when you turn 59 and a half, whatever profit you've made, you keep. The government doesn't touch it. It can't touch it. That's the rules.
Because they tax you pretty much upfront, right?
Yeah, it's upfront taxation.
Yeah, that's good. Okay.
So
which I'm working on opening an account.
So I mean, that's what I trade my shares in, right? Okay. So here's an example. I started out this year with $36,000 in April. I always say I started in April because that's when the market was finally, in my opinion, safe to start putting money into the market again.
Uh-huh.
But I started in April, and I went from 36 to 62,000 today,
Damn.
and that what's that? 28,000 in profit this year. I pay no tax on that,
Damn.
right? So
That's good.
think about this: if let's say you're just an average American, you've got a regular job, and you're able to just put away $6,000 a year. If you can do the 2.5% return every month on your total account value. So here, as an example, $6,000 you put in January, start of the year. That's when
Yeah.
you can invest your new $6,000 for the year. I put 6,000 in, I make 2.5% return on that, and that becomes. Sorry, let me just do some more math here real quick. 6,000 times 2.5%. So that's $150 in profit, right? So that makes it 650. I'm sorry, 6,150. Come February, I make 2.5% again, and I add that to 6,150. That makes it $6,303.75. Right. So if I do that for the entire year, I make 2.5% return every month, and then come January the next year, I put another 6,000 in, and then I make 2.5% on that total account value. So like 6,000 plus 6,000 plus whatever the interest you've made that year. If I do that for 10 years, I'll be at $375,000.
Damn.
Right. So this is the number one thing that I always recommend everybody do, because you pay no tax, you save for your retirement, and you watch your account grow exponentially. Now here's the thing. I say 2.5% because I think that's very reasonable, right? I mean, I could invest $6,000 and easily make $150 within a day or two, right?
Dang.
Very easy. Okay, I mean, like I was saying earlier, I invested $700 and I made $90, sold it, invested another $700 and made $90 and sold it. So there's my $150 or 2.5% return off of $6,000, right? Off of $700, right? So my point is, 2.5% is very easy and very doable. I'm already at 100% almost for the year, and it hasn't even been an entire year yet. Right? 2.5% a month is 30% a year. So think about that for a second. I'm trying to think, who's good at math here? What's $28,000? Trying to think how to do this. So I started out 36,000. I made 28,000. What's that percent rise increase? 28. It's like 85, 90% return. Just kind of ballparking it, right? Imagine if you can do that every year, right? I mean, here's another good way to look at it. 5% return every month. That's 60% a year. 60% a year with doing what I was talking about, you'll be at $750,000 in 10 years if you can make 5% a month. Imagine that.
That's insane.
Oh yeah, it's and
then do you have that with TD Ameritrade, your Roth IRA?
No, I use Schwab because I only do shares. I'm not really interested in I do margin trading on TD Ameritrade, but again, they're going to get combined anyways at some point here in the future. So, not an issue for me. But that's the kind of thing that I want to educate everybody on, is the fact that if you're not saving for retirement, you should start there first, right? If you're doing real estate and you're making additional revenue streams, then great, more power to you. But if all you're doing is working a day job and just trying to trade and make a little bit extra income, do what I'm talking about. Save for your retirement. If you've got 30 years, imagine this: if you can make 5% return every month, and in 10 years you make $750,000, how much money do you think you're going to have in 30 years? If you're 20 years old, by age 59 and a half, that's 40 years. If you are successful and you get to 750,000 in 10 years, imagine that compound interest in another 20 years. you're going to have millions, 10, 15, 20 million, hell, probably more than
Damn.
that. Probably more than that, right? And again,
Compared to a
2.5%.
regular 401k.
Oh yeah, 401k is
Yeah.
trash. It's trash. You don't even get to choose what it invests. You just like, here's my money, go do whatever you want with it, right? In my opinion,
Yeah.
it's manipulated. It's completely manipulated. You know, the market, it's going to crash potentially every 4 to 8 years, maybe 10 or 12. It's going to crash, and so is your 401k with it, right? You can't do a damn thing about it. But my Roth account, I can set stop losses on every one of my positions. And if the market goes backwards, guess what? My money's in cash. And I'm waiting and ready for it to hit the bottom. I want that to happen because now I'm going to get in at the bottom. Right?
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna be working on this week. Opening up that account, and then just trying to get investment properties. Because man, I'm not trying to work no more, man. I'm trying to just work from home.
I'm right there
Pro
with
tip.
you.
Pro tip also, if they open it up this year, I believe they should max out the 6K. Then next year they'll still be able to put another 6K.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. So you've got until April 15th to max out 2020 contribution. Right? So you have until tax day next year to put money towards the year 2020's Roth IRA.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna do that this week for sure. Thank you.
And
Appreciate
again,
explaining everything.
Yeah, of course. And I
Are
would
you guys planning
recommend.
to do meetings like this, like once a week or once a month?
Oh, I do live Q&A twice a week, Sundays and
Twice a
Thursdays
week?
at 9 p.m. Eastern.
Okay, cool. Thank you, man.
Yeah,
Appreciate your time.
You're welcome. Just make sure. I would recommend only doing shares. Don't do
Shares?
options.
Okay, yeah.
Not in your Roth account. And
Uh-huh.
you can, but I wouldn't. It's a retirement
Okay.
account, so just
For
make sure
sure.
that you're not trading very risky things in a retirement account. That's all.
Okay, for sure, man. Thank you so much, bro.
You're welcome.
Hey, I don't want to be out of order, Hostile, but I know we're on the subject of taxes. I was trying to see if you could write taxes off losses.
You can. Absolutely. I think it's up to 3,000 or 3,500 a year that you can write off, and it doesn't expire, but you can't miss a year. So let's say you lost 10 grand this year. Let's just say the number is 3,000. It's around that. I know it's at least 3 grand that you can write off. So let's say you lost 10K this year. You can write off 3K this year. You can write off 3K next year, and you can write off 3K the year after that, and then you can write off 1,000, right? But if you skip a year, I'm not sure the implications on that with the IRS. I'm sure you can still write it off, but it'll raise red flags. It'll put you on the radar, and you don't want that. So just make sure that if you did lose more than 3,000 this year, that you definitely write it off next year, or you're gonna.
Got you.
Could be an issue.
It's like if you were opening up a business, right? You report losses for like the first 3 years. They allow you to do that, right?
Yeah. I mean that's
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're not making profit after 3 years, the government's gonna be like, well, we need to reevaluate this relationship because we're not making money. You're not making money. We're both losing. I think we need to reevaluate our position. So they might close you down.
So let me ask you this: if I finish the year negative and I didn't make anything, it'll probably be best for me just not to put it on my taxes.
I would still report what you did because your broker is going to send out a 1099 to the IRS, right? So I would just say, well, that's a good question. I think the way they do it now, so whatever your 1099 is, just include it in your taxes. And do you pay somebody to do your taxation, or do you do it yourself?
Yeah, my wife.
Is your wife a CPA or?
No, she just does them.
Okay, so the 1099 that, let's say TD Ameritrade, for example, gives me a 1099, there's going to be a number at the end, at the very end of all of the trades. That's the number you need to put in there, whether it be a loss, negative, or break even. The government just needs to know that whatever that 1099 is showing is also shown to the government through you, right? So TD Ameritrade, for example, in my position, they're going to send the 1099, or they're going to report that information to the government. They're going to send me a 1099. In my 1099, I've got to put whatever that number is into the taxation so that the government can match the two together, right? It's kind of like you get paid at your job sends off, the government says, we've paid this person this much, they've paid this much tax, and then when you go to to do your taxes, it needs to match.
Got you. Makes sense.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now, again, I'm not a CPA, so don't quote me, but do take my information, search it yourself, and make sure that what I'm saying is legit. I believe it is, but
No, it sounds correct. It makes sense.
okay. All right. All right. So I think Sampley was next. As long as Danny, you're done. No more questions, Danny?
No, dude. Thank you so much for your time, bro.
All right. You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Of course. D. Sampley, you still here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
So just a quick question because it kind of threw me off, specifically on when you're saying, depending on the number of interests, that when it's lopsided, that it could be problematic. Specifically, I was looking at Pfizer's January 15th. I think it's their $45 call with I don't know, I want to say it was 45,000 different interests in it. So I naturally jumped at it. I mean, it makes sense to me financially. Everything kind of fit, but it is lopsided with regards to the number of options or the number of interests up above it and below it. So I'm trying to figure out how that pays into the equation here.
It's actually not lopsided at all. So if you look at the bid ask spread, it's 104 and 105. That means that is really close. Like it can't get any better, right?
Okay.
So let me see here. Let me just give me a second here. 42, 56, 27, 12, 8. So I'd say the 48 strike is probably a little bit more lopsided. Right? 57 and 66. It's still fairly close, but percentage-wise, I'd have to figure out how to calculate the percentage difference between the two, but it's definitely a lot wider than the strike you're in of the 104 105 bid ask.
Okay, so the open interests aren't where you're looking at the wideness. You're looking at it on what exactly? Sorry.
The bid ask spread. So how much does it cost to sell versus how much it costs to buy?
Got it. So the 104 to 105 versus what's above it at the 127 to 130. Oh, good Lord, 127. 1.27 versus 1.30. Is that what we're looking at?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the spread. So that's the number you want to make sure that it's close. I mean, I'd say a small fraction is good. But if you see something that's like a 2 to 3, so like 100 to 150, that's not good.
Okay.
So there's a way to calculate it to look at percentage or fractional understanding of the spread. But generally speaking, if it's 3 to 2 or 2 to 3, I guess, so 2 sell, 3 buy, not great. Like basically, like I was saying, 100 bid and 150 ask. That's pretty wide. I'd stay away for something like that.
Okay. I misunderstood. Then I think I'm good then.
Okay. All right. Okay. Let me just check my messages here real quick, make sure that I'm not leaving anybody out that's asked questions there. So I do have a lot of messages.
I have a question.
Okay. Who is that?
It's under VO29 or something like that.
Oh, okay. Just give me. Can you give me just 1 second, please?
Sure.
Okay. Just copy this. Sorry, I'm just collecting all the messages that I got, and then I'm going to go to everybody in the channel that's on voice that has questions, and then I will go to the private messages that I received. Okay, V029 was it? Okay, what's your question?
My question is, so Cal said to average down on that Amazon call. How do you average down with these option calls?
Okay, let me just take a look and see where he said that so I can specifically reference that exact one. I think he did with January 15th.
Like if it goes below a certain amount, he said, was it 3150? Or I'm not sure. I forgot, but I saw he put a message to average down if it goes to.
Was that at 12:29 a.m.?
I believe
December
so.
6th?
I saw it yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday.
Yeah, that was okay. So that was basically yesterday at 12:30 in the morning, midnight time frame. So what he's saying is Amazon's he thinks Amazon's got a long-term squeeze, which basically means the highs and lows are coming closer and closer together, right? And it's squeezing the price, and he thinks it's going to pop up. I think he's going to alert. So he didn't do an actual alert just yet on this one, but I'm almost certain he's going to throw out an alert tomorrow to get into a position. Basically, he's saying you do a stop loss at 3150. It's bullish above 32. So the stop loss is you exit your position at 3150 with a loss.
Oh.
Now, I'm not seeing where he said average down, but I can explain that.
Okay.
So basically what it means is if he instead of saying stop loss, he says average down, that just means when the price hits 3150, you buy another contract of the same one that you're in. Right? So it'll be
okay.
cheaper by that point. So let's say you paid, I don't know, just look at January 15th. Whew, that is expensive for Amazon.
Yeah, it was a 3,500 call for January 15.
Okay, let me take a look at that. 15. Oh, yeah, he's kind of far out the money on that one, but with good reason. So that one's 38.60.
The
If
premium?
Yeah, that's how much you'd pay to get into that position. Yeah. If it dropped down, what's the current price? 31.62. Let's say it dropped $50. That contract value is going to probably lose about $700.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So that's kind of like, so for him, he's saying within $12. So I think he's going to alert at the money price, or basically, so let's say Amazon opens tomorrow and it's at 31.60. He's going to probably alert, get into this position now at the $3,500 strike. It's going to cost you the $3,000 and something. And if it drops $10 or $15, you're going to lose $200 or $300. And he's saying to get out of that position, right? Now, if he were to say instead average down, instead of paying 38.60, you'd be paying like 3,500 for it. So then those two contracts, when you would basically get the average, so it'd be 38.60 plus 3,500 equals 73.60 divided by 2. Your break-even price is 36.80 on those contracts.
Oh, I see.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Does that
Got
help?
it. Yeah. Yes,
right.
it does. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Sorry, just give me 1 second. just checking in here to see if these people that messaged me are actually in here. Otherwise, I'm not going to answer their questions until after. So, Quran. Okay, Samwise is here. So you're asking how to read a specific contract screenshot. Where did you get this screenshot, Samwise? Are you there? Okay.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm going to move on. No, I cannot hear you. You're going to have to unmute yourself, Sam. You're muted. Your mic's muted, so you're going to have to unmute yourself to talk. It still says you're muted.
Oh, sorry, I have two screens open. Is it?
Okay,
Am I
there you
audible
go.
now?
Yes.
Yeah. I think I saw it in one of the channels. I was just trying to see the history of some of the channels. It was, I believe, in Telios channel. Yes, it was in Telios channel under alerts.
Okay. If you could just tell us what time of day and date that is, so that everybody can reference that when I go over it.
12/4 at 2:16 p.m. I think it's a Friday.
Okay. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. 12/4 at 2:16 p.m. All right. So it's AMD December 18th, 2020, $100 strike. Call. Okay. Purchase price is 196. Current price is 195 or 195.50. So that means it's down 50 cents and down 0.25%. So less than 1%, a quarter of a percent down. Is that what you're looking for on how to interpret that screenshot?
Yes, I think I get that. But my question is, what is there a difference between the red and green? I think there is a similar AMD call posted in the lottery trades, I guess. Yeah, if you go to the last lottery trade, there's a similar AMD call for 95, but that's green. So just kind of threw me off what the difference would be versus, because both are calls, and why is one green or red, or it doesn't matter.
Okay, so one's green because it's up, it's in positive, and one's red because it's negative.
Gotcha. From
Okay.
purchase price to actual price. Sorry. Okay, that's all I had.
Okay. All right. Who's next?
Hey man, I got a quick question.
Okay.
So EV stocks, particularly like NIO, LI Auto. Well, I caught NIO a few months ago at like $12. It was great. I'm very happy about that. And obviously they all took a pretty big, downslide in the past few weeks. What do you see the future as for, say, LI Auto?
What's the ticker for that one?
Let me check that.
NIO.
It's LI. Just LI.
So Li Auto. Okay, and that's a Chinese company, EV company.
Yeah.
They look almost identical to NIO as far as the chart. They're at support right now.
Yeah, so I was thinking, I mean, any calls that you might suggest on that you see, right now?
I probably wouldn't, because
No.
if you look down here at the volume, right? If so you see this where my cursor is right now? This particular spot?
Sorry, I'm on my phone. I'm jumping around, but I know what you're talking about though. Volume. What about the volume?
Okay, so if the volume had went lower instead of higher than that previous one, I would say maybe calls would be potentially a decent choice, but volume increased on the selling side. So that leads me to believe that it's still probably going to drop some. Right? It might
Okay.
not drop a lot. What I would suggest you look for is, when does the volume shrink on the selling side and pick up on the buying side? Right?
Gotcha.
And that's what I would consider. So there's a correlation between price action and volume. What is the price action doing and what is the volume doing? When you can combine the two to determine who's in control, then you can almost determine what's going to happen based off of, like, right now we're at support, right? And if seller volume increases, it's going through that support level, right? If seller volume decreases and you start seeing green, then that support level is a strong one and it's going to bounce.
Gotcha. All right, man. Thank you. Appreciate it. I'll keep asking questions throughout. I definitely enjoy the chat and happy with this service as well.
Awesome. Good to hear.
Thanks.
I have a question. So I don't know. I think I missed some of the chat. Maybe you have gone through this question. So my question is, I was studying the pattern, like which pattern can basically tell me the ticker is bullish or the bearish. So I always like I don't have enough knowledge when to say that I should sell for my stock. Like which pattern I should look that would say, okay, this is the time to sell your stock. If one or two, I would say two red bar, okay, this basically say that, okay, now you can sell it. But, it always sometimes look at this one, it like three, I would say three or four, the least stock, three red bars, and then it started going up as well. So I don't know the which exit strategy should I follow that.
So entry and exit, the simplest
Uh,
way to explain it is going to be support and resistance, right? You're not going to be able to time the market and say, okay, this is the best time to get out. You're not going to be able to use an indicator that says this is the best time to get out. If it were that easy,
right.
we'd all be doing it and we'd all be rich,
All
right? So
right.
what I suggest is you look at resistance levels. So let's say you buy an option and the stock price is going up, the option contract's going up in value. You want to find a resistance level and get out there, right? Because the chance of it bouncing off resistance, it increases as the closer it gets to it, right? Now, like I was just talking about price action and volume, if price action, if you're in that position and it's going up and the price action is showing green, you got volume also increasing in green, then that resistance level is going to get broken through. But if it starts to slow down, right, you see that momentum slow down, you see the volume slow down, then that tells you that that resistance level is stronger than the strength of the upward mobility. Right, so you need to make sure that you have targets, right? If you look on Tilio's channel, you'll see that he has the word target in there, and that means he's targeting that area for something specific. So what you need to do is, when you get into a position, you need to have a target in mind before you even get in. That way, if you reach that target, you need to get out. Don't question anything. Don't be like, oh, you know what? Let me ride it until, I think I'm going to get more out of it, or I want to squeeze this position as dry as possible. That's a bad idea because you're going to lose, right? So you take profits when it hits what you were targeting. And if it goes past it, so let's say you sell that position right at resistance and then it breaches resistance. Okay, get back in, right? Get back in, because if it breaches resistance and stays above resistance, it's probably going to keep going, right? So you just secured your profits and now you get into another position and you're allowing yourself to have secured the profits, like I just stated, but also you're starting over, right? So you can again, make money from that point on, right? So you need to split it up into sections and say, all right, this section I'm going to make money, I'm going to get out. This section, if it increases past this resistance level with volume, more volume, more buyer volume, you get back into a position. Like, that's the safe way to do it. Or if you've got 5 contracts, then you can unload 2 at that resistance level or 3 at that resistance level, breaks through, you got 2 left to ride, right? So there's a few ways to go about doing it, but honestly, you need to have a strategy and a target, and when it hits that number, when it hits that level, you need to take it off the table without question. That's what it means to be a consistent trader.
So I would say, so if I have to decide my target, so I'm gonna look for support resistance, or I should go for the Fibonacci retracement where I can see that, okay, this should be my target if that target is never gonna broke,
Well, I
something
mean,
like that.
you can use Fibonacci. I use Fibonacci when there's no resistance or support levels to use, right? When I don't have a way to correlate previous resistance or support levels, then I'll break out the Fibonacci, because the
Okay,
Fibonacci gives me support levels.
okay, makes sense. Thank you, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I think it's really grateful. I mean, I'm gonna use these strategies, and maybe next time I'm gonna ask more questions. Thank you so much.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay,
Hey man,
hey,
I have a couple questions.
sure.
Yeah, so on Robinhood you said can do day trade, right?
You can, but you're going to be flagged for it if it goes beyond 3.
So you mean like the day trade is basically like if I buy a stock today, for example, today early in the morning, let's say when the market opens, and later at the day if it goes up, if I sell it, so that's like a day trading, so they're gonna flag me, right?
They will
That's
flag you
how it
once you
works?
do that 3 times.
Oh, so how can I like do that without getting flagged or without whatever,
Do you have $25,000 plus in your account?
Oh no.
Then you're not going to be able to do it on Robinhood. You're going to have to get off Robinhood and either use Webull or Thinkorswim, or some other platforms out there that are good as well. I don't use anything besides Webull, Thinkorswim, and Schwab. They all have what's called a cash account. In that cash account, you can trade unlimited in the day as long as you have the cash in the account, right? So that's why it's called a cash account, because it allows you to trade what you have that's settled, right?
Oh, okay. My
If
other
you go on
yeah.
real quick, if you go on my channel,
Mm-hmm.
under the education tab, I've got a video on there that explains Robinhood and why it's not a terrible broker to have, and that explanation I just gave, that's in there. And I
Okay.
mentioned how what's some decent platforms to switch over to. So do watch that video after this live Q&A. I think it'd help you out a lot, and it answer a lot of questions for you.
All right, thanks. My other question is, I am kind of new to this. I really don't know anything, to be honest. And so, is there like like any like a type of, not I don't say channels, but like person to person, like to explain how the trading works, all that stuff, you know?
You could contact one of the support members.
Uh-huh.
They can help you with that basic information. A lot of learning stocks, it's kind of like a personal journey, right? Because your risk tolerance, your portfolio size, what interests you, you know, other things, it's going to factor in the type of trader you want to be. And no one can tell you what type of trader you want to be, only you, right? So
Mm-hmm.
we can help you answer questions that are specific to certain things, but if you want to determine what type of trading you want to do, your strategy, your goals, that kind of stuff, that's something you're going to have to figure out, right? We can help you along the way. We can answer any questions that you come up with that you can't find or whatever. We can answer that. But it's hard to give you a specific answer for a general question, if that makes sense. But again, the support members, they're orange. They can help you. I guess I would say they can definitely help you with some specifics on that. But just know that it's not going to be. You're not going to get your confusion. It's not going to completely go away. There's going to be more questions. I guarantee it. So at a minimum, write down all of the questions that you can come up with that are specific to what you're looking to do. And again, like I said, generalized questions. I'm unfortunately probably going to give a generalized answer, right? So it's hard for me to tell you something specific for what you're asking, if that makes sense.
Okay, I think so. Okay, the last question is, you talk about the IRA something. I think I missed a little bit of that.
Roth IRA.
So Roth, like an RAF?
No, ROTH.
Oh, RT. Okay, and that, and I think there's like many different banks that do that, right?
Oh, the broker platforms do it.
Yeah. So which one is the do you recommend?
Again, it's similar concept of get off of Robinhood and get on Webull, Thinkorswim for TD Ameritrade, Schwab, E-Trade, Fidelity, Vanguard. There's a lot of choices out there. If you're coming from Robinhood and you don't have any other accounts or any other experience, I say Webull is going to be your next best bet. It's the transition broker from Robinhood. Right. If you're an advanced trader, then I'd say, yeah, go for Thinkorswim, by all means. But if you haven't had a lot of experience in the market in general, then I would say go to Webull.
Okay.
And again, that video I mentioned, it's got that information in there. So I think it'd be very beneficial if you watched it. It's like, I think it's 9 minutes long. I think you'd get a lot of information and questions answered if you watched it, and some stuff that I've probably left out.
Okay, I will do so. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, and it's pinned on my channel, just so you know.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Okay. Who else has questions?
I got a question here. I was speaking with you earlier. This is Juan M, and I think another guy said he was going to post some kind of tutorial about the Thinkorswim, and you said send it to me. And I'm just wondering, did you post it somewhere or pin it somewhere?
I haven't had a chance to. I've been in here. I'll do it as soon as I get a second.
And when you do it, that's fine. Where would I look for it at? Where are you going to pin it?
So above this voice chat, you go to how to execute plays section, and then you'll see the TD Ameritrade channel. Here, I'll post it right now. And there you go.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, Hostel, I got a question.
Okay. Who's that?
It's Illa. But
Okay.
in your Roth IRA, what stocks are you holding? And do you sell like covered calls also, or you just leave them in there just to grow?
So I guess first answer to your question. I'm in Pets. I'm in Rocket Mortgage. I'm in Tesla. I'm in Apple. What else am I in? WPM, which is Wheaton Precious Metals, SLV, which is silver ETF, and I'm in Barrick Gold, which is GOLD. I flip these, I swing these, so I get in and out of positions fairly often. The quicker the better, to be honest. I don't long hold anything, although I take that back. I am long holding WPM, GOLD, and Tesla. Right, those I'm long holding. I believe that the precious metals market's going to keep going up here soon. It's going to have another rip here coming up. Tesla, I think, long term, it's going to hit another $1,000 or $2,000, and it's going to split again. So I ended up, through all of my accounts, I had 75 shares. I've liquidated. I think I'm down to 45 shares now. So as Tesla keeps going up, when it hits 650, I'm gonna dump some shares. When it hits 700, I'm gonna dump some shares. And ultimately, I wanna hold maybe 5 to 10 shares in each account and let that run for the long term. But the rest of it, I'm gonna go back to swinging shares on other stuff. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, I have a question.
Okay, who's that?
This is Darshan.
Okay, go ahead, Darshil.
Yeah, so I have a question about the commodities right now, like precious metals, gold, silver, and everything. What do you think about the commodities for near future?
I think right now they've bottomed out, and I think they're starting to come back up. Precious metals market is really tricky. Long term, I'm bullish. I think it's hard to say what precious metals are going to do. I mean, they're highly manipulated, and I don't know what controls it, frankly. But I will say that the uptrend's starting again, right? Let's see, SLV. Yeah, so I mean, it hit support at $20 and some change, right? And it breached its most previous high, which is right at. Let me just go closer in on the chart. So it breached its most previous high at 2179 ish, and now it's got resistance at the next level, which is right around 2263. I believe it's going to breach that. It's broken through a downtrend line, right? Are you seeing my chart, Darshil?
Yes, I can see that.
Okay, so it's broken through this trend line. It's broken through this resistance level. It's hitting resistance, and I think it's going to break through that. I mean, it's already bounced off of it multiple times. If you look at this, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. This high is not as high, but the low is higher. But then we get a higher high, and then the low is a little bit lower, right? And so it's kind of, again, that's why I said it's manipulated in a way. So it's trending up though. So if I draw out a trend line here, let's say from there, right? I mean, I'm trying to incorporate all bodies. There's the trend, short-term trend, right? It's got to breach that 2260 area, and honestly, I think it's going to hit maybe 23 or 2320 before it finds more resistance. So basically, it's going to rise $1 or so and hit resistance. And then the next point of resistance is going to be probably 24 area. So it's got to breach these key levels before it starts heading back up.
I've been thinking to buy gold in this like a dip. it just went to 750, right? Like 1750 just 2 weeks ago. So I've
You
been
talking
trying
about
to.
actual?
No, not physical gold, like buried gold mining stuff.
Okay,
Stocks.
GOLD. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think GOLD is a good one to get into, for sure.
Is that the right time right now?
I mean, it's lower than it has been for since what's that? May. So
Yeah.
I mean, it bounced off of that resistance point basically. Does that help?
Yeah,
And
sure. Thank you.
here's a let me just draw out a Fibonacci. I think I'm seeing a 50% retracement level here. Closer. Day 15. Yep, look there. There's 50%. So it's bouncing off 50% retracement level. So I think we're going to see it. Well, first off, we need to see it go above its most recent high in this 5-day chart, which is right here at 2386. So if it breaches that, bouncing off of this 50% retracement level, it's going to definitely breach this previous high and start testing new highs.
Yeah. So this gold mining, buried gold, follows the real gold, right?
Oh, the real gold price? No.
It doesn't.
No. I mean, unless you are referring to following it as when gold price goes up, so does this, then yes.
Mm.
But
Yeah.
as far as the spot price of gold, no, it doesn't follow that.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I have a question.
Okay.
I was just looking in the stock market and I see that it's at its all-time high at the moment right now. So this upcoming week right here, how are we looking? Is it going to drop a little bit or is it going to keep going higher and higher?
Well, I mean, it could have a little bit of retracement, right? Let me just take a quick look at SPY. I mean, I don't see it not having some retracement, but I think it'll continue making highs because November, December through the middle of January are bullish months or bullish time frame. It's the most bullish time out of the year, right? June and July are the other 2 months that are really bullish. But this is a bullish month, December especially, because holidays, you got a lot of spending. People are going on vacations. People are going out to eat. People are having parties. Historically, at least, I don't know about for COVID, but historically, yes, that's the case. So, this is the season where people spend money. Period. So I would expect the market to keep going all through December.
Okay. So the thing is, I was looking at Snow, the company, the ticker SNOW. I was wondering why did it skyrocket last week on Friday?
I have no idea.
It blew up like 14%, super high.
Yeah,
and then
I don't have an answer for that, unfortunately. I would say
No?
look for some news or something relating to snow. I mean, I couldn't tell you. Guess is as good as
Gotcha.
mine.
Okay, because I'm mostly a day trader. I look at like options and stuff like that. But when that happened right there, because mostly every earnings that are coming right now these days, the stock is dipping.
Well, it did.
But the earnings, it did. But then 2 days later, it just skyrocketed up again.
Yeah, I can't explain that, unfortunately. I have no idea.
Okay.
Unless they had some kind of news happen 2 days ago, or market close on on earnings day, right? I mean, unless let's see. I mean, earnings was terrible.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about.
So, I mean, it was 3 times worse than the estimated. So I have
And
no
then it
idea.
skyrocketed.
No idea.
See, that's why investors like they fool around too much. I'm like, and then like you said, December is the month where people are buying and stuff like that. But I was also in Amazon last week, and it kept hitting resistance and support and kept dropping down. Kept hitting resistance, support, and dropping down.
Yeah,
So
that's
I
that's
lost
squeezing.
I lost a little bit on that right there. So I'm just saying, like you said, support and resistance. So how does when you see support and resistance, when it goes up and above, when do you know it's gonna go drop back down?
You don't really. It's a guess, but you have to make an educated guess. You have to have
A stop loss.
well, a stop loss, but um, there's things out there that you have to look for, right? I mean, like I was saying, price action and volume, right? If it's coming up to resistance, and you know the the green volume is shrinking, and then red volume starts to appear, that's a good indicator that it's gonna um, probably reverse off that resistance level, and vice versa on the support side. That's
So the
just one
more,
thing, right? I mean, there's a lot of other things you can factor in. I mean, I'm sure moving averages or stochastics or MACD. I mean, there's so many things out there. Um, I can't. There's not one that's a silver bullet. So if you put together like a checklist strategy, you might be able to get a little bit of an edge, I guess you could say.
no, I have like a whole watch list, that I look through, and then I was looking at Zoom as well last week. It dropped drastically on the revenue day, and then it dropped even more the next day. But then the third day went up like another 2 or 3%, which then it dropped again.
Yes, I mean, again, it's hard to determine these things, right? I mean, you can even look into like on my charting right now, I got standard deviation, right? I mean, third standard deviation channel means it's got a 99% chance of falling from that level, on this 2-hour candle 90-day chart, right? So, there's things out there that can help you, but there's nothing out there that's going to tell you this is what's going to happen.
I'm mostly looking to the candle system, the candlestick system. I look through it, and then when it tells me that it's going to be going up, but then it does the opposite. So I think to myself, what have I done? So I'm just trying to understand, is the candle system really important out here these days during this market?
So candlestick analysis, in my opinion, is the hardest out of all of it, because you can look at 1-day charts, you can look at 5-day, you can look at 10-day. I mean, you can go way out. It's really hard to recognize candlestick patterns unless you've really religiously studied it and have seen it, have experience. It's really tough, right? You can chart patterns are easier, support resistance levels are easier, trend analysis is easier. I mean, even using MACD and RSI is going to be a lot easier. I think candlesticks are the hardest thing to do, because what you think you see may be something else. You know what I mean? Like a shooting star can be a reverse hammer, or something like that. So it's hard to see that. I think when you use candlestick patterns, most people teach it in the short-term scalping time frame, but frankly, I think they're a lot more confirming in the longer time frames, because when you've got a day candle or a 2-hour or a 4-hour candle versus a 1 minute, I mean, imagine how much confirmation's in that 1-hour candle or that 2 hour or whatever, however far out you go, the further out you go, the more guaranteed that candle becomes if you're doing candlestick analysis, right? But the trading time frame increases. So again, if you're day trading and scalping, you're not interested in looking at the 180-day 4-hour chart candles,
Absolutely.
right? So maybe consider looking at 5-day 15-minute candles or 10-day 30-minute candles and day trade off of those or something like that. That could
Gotcha.
help you.
Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome. But chart analysis is very important. And, candlestick analysis is chart analysis, but I think that's the most granular piece of the chart. So I would probably go backwards and start looking at chart patterns and the chart itself, the price action and the chart itself. Again, I'm not saying that you shouldn't be doing candlesticks. I just think that they're very hard to do. If you can do it successfully, then great, awesome.
No, I was doing it successfully, but this month is just like, it's a month that I really can't understand it right now. It's just, it seems bullish, but it's going bearish. That's why I asked.
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough one. It's hard to say. I just think that, again, December is the bullish month, one of the most bullish months out of the year. I mean, the end of July, the end of June, the first week of July is really bullish from what I've seen in the past. It's not always going to be the same every year. It's going to start later or earlier. It's going to end sooner or later than it did the previous year. But generally speaking, there is a time frame between certain months where expect things to pump and dump, right? Like September, October, there's some dumping happening, you know. November, December, mainly there's some pumping happening. June and July, there's pump happening. Late January, February, early March, there's some dumping and neutrality going on. Right? So I mean, there's just, if you can pinpoint the months that have historically neutral downtrends or uptrends, then you can trade those months based off of those historical movements because they're eerily similar but not the same, if that makes sense.
Gotcha. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, who else has questions?
I have a question.
Okay.
So are the lines on your graph, I'm sorry, I'm really new to trading. It's been like 2 weeks for me, but are the lines on your graph the standard deviation lines?
Yes, are you referring to the purple, green, tan, and gray?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's standard deviation.
Okay. And when I go to my Thinkorswim and I turn it on, I only get like 3 lines. So why would you have 7? And like, what does it mean?
So, I have 7 because I have 3 standard deviations. You've got 1. Sounds like you said you have 3 lines.
Yeah.
So yeah, you've got 1 standard deviation. I have 3. Okay, so real quick, standard deviation 1, which is tan. If the stock hits that, it's got a 33% chance of going past it, or a 67% chance of falling. If it hits the green, it's got less than a 4%, so less than a 4% chance of going past it, and a 96% chance of falling. And if it hits purple, it's got less than 1% chance of going above it, and 99% chance of falling. It's all probabilities and statistics. I've actually I created a video that goes more in depth on this and how to set it up and everything on my education channel.
Okay. Well, where can I find that?
So if you scroll, actually, this voice channel, just above it, there's an education section, and my channel says Professor Hostile.
Oh, okay. Cool.
And then in there, it should be pinned.
All right. Sweet. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Who else?
May I know when the quiz coming?
What's that?
May I know when the quiz for the premium floor, trade floor coming?
I don't know that. Tilio is the one that normally sends that out. You could ask a question to the bot, and I'm sure he'll respond to it. So the bot is, let's see, at question bot, and then ask your question, and then it'll pop up in that channel, and Tilio will respond to it.
Okay, so what do you think of the short-term AMD?
Might see it bounce off this trend line sometime here soon on my chart.
In my downtrend in short term?
Yeah, it might bounce off this trend line, and then you know what I mean. Like it might stock price might fall some, get near this trend line. I mean, if you see the previous couple of weeks, it's bouncing off this trend line. So I think it'll continue upwards. Tech is moving pretty strongly right now. So I still think there's some bullishness to it. I mean, again, December is a bullish month, so I don't foresee a lot of things falling. Maybe get some neutrality in some of these stocks that are at highs, but the stocks that haven't hit highs yet, they still got the room to run. So we're going to see some stuff cool off. We're going to see some stuff continue up until it hits highs or breaks highs. And once everything has done that, then you're going to see the market start to reverse.
Interesting. All right, thank you.
You're welcome. And that's just my opinion and analysis. It may or may not
Okay.
happen, but that's what I think is going to happen.
I see.
Okay. Who else has questions?
I have a question, man.
Okay.
It's actually about fib retracement. I'm trying to use that, I guess, a little bit more now with a lot of the EV stocks. Especially considering they have a lot of high swings and lows. But I also saw Cal put up a watch list today about Blink, and he actually talked about the fib retracement for Blink, actually. Is there a way you can just go over that?
What's the
Is he
BLKO?
BLNK?
Ah.
And he was talking about how it held above the 62 fib and moving its way to the 50.
Let's see. Do you know which? Let me just try this first. I'm not sure how he drew his. I need to look and see how he drew his. Is it on his channel? Where did you see it?
No. Oh, actually on his channel, yes. He just wrote it out though. Today, 12/29.
I'd need to know where he drew his lines from. That's the tricky part with the Fibonacci. So everybody does it differently. But if I knew where he started and where he ended, then I could tell you. And I can guess here. Let's see.
I guess that's my difficulty with fib as well. It's just trying to compare it, I guess, to other people's.
So the way I look at Fibonacci is, or the way I use it rather. All right. So for example, I would start. So you use it on this on each wave. Hold on. Okay. The way I use it the way I use it is each wave. So this is one wave, this big wave here, right? And I start from the lowest low that's the closest to the start of that wave. So it would be this wick. And I go to the high of that wave. That's how I draw it. Oh, that's how he drew it. So he said it held on the 62, moved its way back to the 50. Here's the 62.
Yeah,
Right,
exactly.
so here's where it held on the 62, and here's how it's gone back to the 50.
Got it. Okay.
So there we go.
Yeah, no, it's perfect. Thanks.
You're welcome. Okay, who's next?
I do have a question, if I can.
Sure.
Honest. Yeah, so I just joined you guys yesterday. I've done a little bit of paper trading for a month. And for someone, I use Robinhood app. But based on your feedback, looks like I might be moving to Webull. The question is I'm trying to get out of 9 to 5 job, and I have about $1,000 for investment. So how do you think would be best based on your experience? Stock trading, options, shares, which one do you think should be a good starting point? I've been trading stock for my paper trading, and I'm new to options and trying to learn it.
So if you only got $1,000, options isn't really going to do too much for you. There's not too many contracts you can get into without over leveraging yourself. So for example, a $250 contract, that's 25% of your account value. And we recommend no more than 5% of your account. So with a small account, I suggest swinging shares until you reach $10,000 or $15,000. That's just my opinion. Some people will say 5,000 is okay. Some will say 2,500 is enough. I'm a little bit more conservative than most, I think. I would say 10,000 is better. But even then, like if you're making success with swinging shares, don't stop. You could take a percent off of your profits every time and put it towards saving for an account to trade options in. To get out of a day job, not going to happen with $1,000. Not going to happen with $50,000. Probably won't happen with 100,000. My goal is 500,000. Then I can probably quit my day job because it's going to bring me the revenue that I'm looking for to replace my job, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, it's not going to happen with a small amount of money, no matter how you look at it, as far as getting out of a day job. Does that answer your questions?
Yeah, it does. And looking at the alerts, so Leo will be, and yourself, you guys both give alerts on swinging shares, correct?
Yes, Tilio definitely does. I'm probably going to get back into it soon. I took a break from being an analyst and alerting stuff rather, because I took a different role here as kind of a management and teaching people on the live Q&A, so that takes up a lot more of my time. But now that the server is kind of where we want it to be as far as its progression, support members and all that, and now my management duties are a little bit easier to manage. I'm thinking I'm going to start getting back into spreads and shares. So do look for that type of stuff to happen soon. Do look for my alert channel to show up pretty soon.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Let's see, is Gustavo in here? Gustavo, I've gone over that question you asked me in a private channel or message.
Oh, sorry about that.
Basically, $1,000. I just said it to the gentleman right before you.
Yeah, I just
$1,000.
heard.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
What's up, Hosto?
So the best thing is just to buy shares, like you said to him. Build up your account, buying shares and selling it, buying it low and selling it high.
Yeah, I would say so.
That's the best thing. Yeah,
It's a lot
I've been
safer.
doing
And
that. Yeah,
you're gonna
I've
learn
been pretty
things.
good at that for some reason. I bought a few contracts, like a few $100s, and I lost, and I earned again the previous day. But for some reason, buying stocks has helped my account grow a little bit more.
It's a lot safer, and you have all the time in the world.
Yeah, yeah, and you could look at the graphs, how like when it goes up, when it goes down. So you're safer that way, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, there's no time frame on when you get in and out. You decide when you lose. You decide when you win. Not an expiration date.
Yeah. hmm Oh, the other time I asked you about penny stocks. Um, any advice on building account with penny stocks,
No.
or stay away from them?
Stay away.
Yeah, because that's what I did in like a few weeks ago. I bought penny stocks and I did pretty well for some reason.
I would stay away. I mean, if you're having success, then again, as I was saying to someone previously, whatever's working for you, keep doing it.
Keep
Right?
doing it, yeah.
But with penny stocks, I'd be very careful because
Yeah.
they're
Okay.
manipulated. So if you
Is
get on the
there?
correct side of the manipulation, you can make a lot. You get on the wrong side, you can lose a lot.
Yeah, of course. Is there a way to get some like extra help from one of you guys, just to take a look at some of the investments we have? Like, because I have one penny stock that I've been holding for a few months now. It's called Tops. I bought it like at 109, and now it's at 165.
I'd get out of that.
Get out of that.
Heck yeah.
Okay.
Don't long
Yeah, I
hold
made like
anything like
around
that.
200 profit on that right now. Around
Yeah.
$200.
Never long hold anything that does a rip like that. Even if it
Doesn't
keeps
go up real
ripping.
fast. Okay.
Yeah, even if it keeps ripping, it doesn't matter. Especially penny stocks. If it rips like that, I'd get out.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna sell it.
Yeah, I'd get out. Me personally.
Yeah.
If you ever have to
All
ask
right, that's
yourself if
good.
you have to take profit, you should.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I've been doing that, taking some profits. One of the members helped me out. He was like, "Oh, you know, always sell." Like he taught me this way, like if the stock keeps going up, you like sell half of it and then you sell another half of it, like a part.
Yeah, you trim it.
If it keeps going, yeah, you trim it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing
So
with Tesla.
that helped. I did that with what was that? A company. You guys gave us a signal the past week. It started at, I think it was Tilio. He gave us the signal. He said, "Oh, get in at $3, and when I saw that, it was already at 4, so I got in at 4, and it went up to like 9, and
That's nice.
I made pretty much really good money in that. It was the DPW, that's the company.
Yeah, that'd be one I'd say you just trim shares as it goes up, or set a trailing stop loss.
Yeah, that was a really good one. Like that doesn't happen a lot though. I notice.
No, it's
Yeah.
that's a play that 1 out of 50 happens, but they do.
Okay.
You know, you catch yourself in a position. I mean, it's doing that for Tesla for me right now. You know, not quite 100+%, but you know,
Uh-huh.
I'm up. Let's see, like 75%. So
Oh, that's good. Yeah, you have a big account. I'm just starting with mine, you know.
I started with $700.
Uh,
So keep at it. You'll be at
yeah.
60,000 just like me.
Uh-huh. And quick last question for you. So I could give another chance for somebody else, you know, to speak up. I'm holding INO shares at the moment, and I've been holding it for a while now. You know, I've been looking at the news and everything about the different vaccines, and I see like every like 3 or 4 big companies are trying to get approval from the government, and INO is one of them. I saw, and like I bought the shares really low, like at 10.79, and it went up to like 13ish, but you know I didn't want to sell it. I want to keep holding and you know to see if it'll go up to I don't know 18 $19 like the other ones, you know, like Moderna and Pfizer.
Well, you got to remember, INO is a small cap. Pfizer and
Yeah,
Moderna is
yeah, it's a
a
small
large cap.
company. Uh-huh. But
So
wouldn't the prices go up a little bit if they get like the approval or anything?
probably.
Uh, Yeah, that's the thing I'm you know worried about it. If I sell it and like tomorrow they get some type of approval and the stock just
Set
rips.
it, like I said, set a
Yeah.
trailing stop loss.
Okay.
It's about the easiest thing I can tell you.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Richard, was it you
Yeah,
that
what's
had?
up?
Hey.
Yeah, that was me. I was just gonna ask you if you're planning on playing Pfizer for their Thursday FDA approval.
No, I'm not.
No?
They've already went up substantially. I mean, they had a small retracement. I think they're going to continue pumping though. I mean, I think it's too late to get into that personally.
Well, to get into shares and options or
Shares.
oh, okay.
I mean, options you could scalp it maybe.
But swinging will be a bad idea, right? If I buy like
Yes.
a okay, yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't swing that.
Initially, I was thinking about buying like a really far out expiration date, maybe to like next year to see if there's gonna be any pump. Because you know, you see what happened with Moderna. You know, they went up almost like twice, twice as much. You know.
Well, you got to remember they're a lot better positioned than Pfizer
Right.
as far as the company goes and profits and that kind of stuff. They've also created a lot more deals than Pfizer, right? So they got more money to make. Let's be honest. But that's not to say that Pfizer is not going to jump. I just think that it's, you know, had you got leaps or whatever at $33 or $34, then great. Yeah, could have said that's probably a good time to get in. But now that it's already up, 20% or so, I mean, I just kind of feel like the train has left the station.
Yeah, you're right. I'm looking at the trend line right now. It's on the.
So
Yeah, I think I just scalp it instead. Yeah, it's already way up. It went from like $20-something to 40. That's a big jump. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely. I mean, you're chasing if you try to swing that.
Yeah, I don't think I'll do that.
Okay. Let's see. One Blue Sky wants me to break down options platform such as strike price, bid, etc. Not understanding how the current strike price of Pfizer shows. Not understanding. Where does he say it? Not understanding how the current strike price of Pfizer shows $38 on December 11th, but the current stock price is $40. I'm not seeing where it says 38. I mean, what expiration? You said December 11th. Yeah, I'm not seeing. I mean, 38's right here. Blue Sky, you there?
Yeah, hey, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hey,
So
great. So I'm actually extremely limited with the knowledge that I just begun like just about yesterday. I'm referring to the Webull application, and I see the stock price of December 11th at $38 for Pfizer, but then just in the middle of it, it shows $40.34.
send me a screenshot of what you're looking at so I can try to understand this a bit better.
All right, because what I'm not understanding or grasping rather is if a current like if I'm trying to purchase an option here for that particular week, and it shows $38, and let's say a stock price is showing an amount that's higher than that, why would I purchase that weekly option at $38 instead of the 40? If it's below the stock price,
Well, you don't want to go in the money.
you don't.
No, I wouldn't recommend going in the money. I'd go with the 40 and a half, which is at the money.
Got it. So why would somebody consider, just curious, going at the 38 rather than the 40 and a half?
Well, it depends on strategy. I mean, there's certain strategies called diagonals where you go in the money with a short strike or long strike. Let's see. Okay, so the long strike is in the money. Short strike is out of the money, and you're basically owning shares at 38, selling calls against it. I mean, there's strategies that are out there specific to going in the money with. Diagonals are one of them. But that's a more complex strategy, and I would recommend against trying to do something like that until you get a lot more experience under your belt.
So speaking of experience, I'm certainly gonna refer to the education section you guys offer. But now that I have you, I was just wondering, like for someone like myself and some other participants here that were limited with their amount of money that they have to basically play with, like when you want to essentially swing a trade, that's basically increase the amount of money you're able to get from that particular trade. And then you're going to continuously do so until you build a certain amount of money to be able to then trade in the options section.
Yeah, I mean, so you're swing trading shares, and with a small amount of money. So if you get $1,000 and you're only, number one, you're only limited limited to certain types of trades. You can't get into everything that's alerted, for example. So if you're following alerts, you can't get into everything, right? And with that being said, it's the chance of you losing. There's just a lot more risk in options, right? And there's a lot of emotion involved in options. So a lot of factors that will basically point you in the negative direction as far as your account balance. Whereas if you just do shares, you get it at the right price. At some point, it's coming back above that and going to show profit, right? So
Got it.
you take it slow and easy, you be consistent, and it's going to teach you things that you need to know with options. If that makes sense.
It does. Lastly, it was like if I continuously do that, am I capped with I know you mentioned like Webull is a better platform than Robin, the others, but as far as like there's no fees associated with it,
No.
and I'm certainly gonna open up a Roth IRA. But if I continuously do that, like for instance, like let's use Tesla as an example. I'll buy a few shares of Tesla. Let's say I don't know the exact price of Tesla is right now, but let's say 500. Buy two shares of Tesla. Spent 1,000 on it. It goes up a bit. Sell it for that profit. Assuming it's called realizing the profit there, it's going to be in my account.
Yes.
And then once I have that the profit in my account, I look at let's say Pfizer for $40. Buy several shares of Pfizer. That happens to go up. Am I capped at doing that? Does that count against anything as far as using Webull?
I don't know what you mean by capped at doing that. You are free to trade as many shares as you like, make as much money as you can off of it, and then go and do it somewhere else. Only thing that you're going to be capped on is dollar amount. How many
Got it.
how many shares can you trade at $40 a share for $1,000, right? Or $1,000 for $500 a share of Tesla. That's two. That's the only cap you've got is the amount of money you can put in.
Okay, understood. Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome. So just give me 1 second here. Let me look at. Looks like Nando Raptor has a question.
Hello?
Is that Nando?
Yes, Nandaraptor.
Yeah. So I think Tesla, yes, will potentially hit $700 before it hits a S&P. Don't trade off of that, right? That's just my opinion. That's my outlook for how I want to dump my shares. I think that when it does hit the SPY, it's going to fall.
Right, because all the hype and whatever it be.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be profit takers that come in and just crush it. I think it's going to fall to its previous high, which is 538.
Got you.
I believe it was going to do that. Or actually, yeah, 516, 515 to 530-ish area. It's going to fall
After
to there.
After it gets to 700.
After it gets to the SPY.
Oh, got you.
Yeah.
Right on. And so looking at that, would you said something about owning shares. Is there any advice about buying call options?
Tesla is so dangerous, man. Like,
I know. I did really well one week, and then the next week I did pretty bad.
yeah, I mean, I've had the same thing. I make $1,000, lose 1,000. Make 1,000, lose
Yep.
1,000. So, shares, it's like it's easy, right? You get it at a good price and just watch it go up. Right? You don't have to worry about anything option related. And that's what I did. I got in at a low. I think I paid like $350 for my shares, $390 for some, $350 for some average down. So, I'm up a good bit, and I've been shaving it. So I shaved at 462. I shaved at 500. I shaved at 550. I've shaved at 600. And I'm going to shave at 650, and I'm going to shave the rest of it at 700, with the exception of a few shares that I want to hold on to. Like I said, I want to probably hold on to, 5 shares per account. I've got 4 accounts. I'm gonna probably hold 5 shares in each account. Once it, once it does hit 700, I'm gonna let the rest ride.
Yeah, I hear you. So, I mean, 700 is a big jump from where it's at right now. I mean, we're at what, almost $600?
Yeah, I mean, but think about it. It took a week to go from what? Let's see, what's that?
Yeah, 406.
406.
Yeah.
Let me just look exactly how many days it took for this to happen. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 9. It took 9 days to go $200.
But yeah.
So what's the 21st of December? We've got 10 days basically. It could easily go to 700.
Yeah, I hear you.
So never
It's just
underestimate the power of Tesla.
Yeah, such a short call to buy too. Because that's, I mean, I became a fan of the calls and the puts. I feel like that works out for me. So that's something I've been doing with Tesla and other companies and not. So I just want to hear your thoughts. But I mean, like you said, who knows, right?
Yeah, it's tough to say, man, but I really do truly believe Tesla's gonna.
It's Daniel's job.
Right on. And I had another quick question. You mentioned Webull. Does that have day trading? I tried my day trading on Robinhood and I keep getting these little flags. And do I need 25,000 in Webull as well?
No, Webull, you can do cash accounts,
Uh-huh.
and that'll enable you to day trade at unlimited as long as you've got the settled cash for it.
So like if I have the same amount of buying power that I'm actually playing with. Is that what that means?
So here, as an example, if you buy Tesla $2,500 contract and you've got $2,500 in your account, you can only do that once a day because that money is going to go in. Let's say you sell it today for profit. It's going to take a full day, or by market open tomorrow. Usually, it'll be available to trade again.
I see.
Yeah, but you can't do it at 9:30 in the morning. Buy a $2,500 contract with 2,500 in your account, sell it for $500 at 10 o'clock in profit, and then turn around and buy the dip on Tesla down, again at 2,500. The cash has to settle. And
Got you.
it takes
But
a full
if
trade day.
I had the 25,000 in my account, that'd be a different story.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you got 25,000, I mean, you still need a cash account up to 25 grand. So to not be marked as a pattern day trader, let's say you want to trade $5,000 today in Tesla.
Right.
You need 30,000 to not be a PDT.
Oh, okay.
Right. Or you want to trade 10,000 today, you need 35,000.
That's what you're saying.
Yeah, that $25,000 basically covers that PDT rule. And then you're basically at zero from that point.
Yeah.
If you want to day trade, that is.
Right on. All right. Well, thank you. That's all. Answer my question.
You're welcome.
I was just going to add that you can purchase shares or contracts with unsettled funds, but you just can't sell them until those funds settle.
Oh.
Good to know.
Okay. Until. All right.
This is on Webull.
I believe so. Yeah, I don't normally trade that way, so I don't know for sure what you can do with unsettled funds because I just don't trade that way. But it sounds like you can trade with unsettled funds. You just can't unload the position until the funds settle. I don't know how that works with options though.
Options. I don't know. Options, you can't do that. If you have a cash account on Webull, you can't do that with options, from what I see. But
if you have a Webull account and your cash is unsettled, you can't buy any options. You can buy regular shares,
but you can't sell it until your cash gets settled, but you can't trade in options at all.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking. I thought you was talking about options with that. Yeah.
Okay, so who's next with questions?
I have a quick question.
Okay.
It's basically I'm asking for from a few of my friends who never invested in stocks before, but recently they wanted to, but they don't really want to spend a lot of money or invest a lot of money. They just want to looking to start from 100 to 500. What kind of stocks do you recommend, or like just to do in shares to start with them with $100 to 500?
Honestly, I don't
It's just like
recommend.
they keep asking me, and to be honest, I don't know what to tell them because I usually do like swing trades. I get in and out, but they don't have any knowledge or nothing about it. So they're just looking something to invest in it, but not much.
I mean, are they just trying to let the money sit there?
Yeah, pretty much, I guess.
Apple.
Apple. Okay. But it's like Apple is just like you can buy one share, and even if it goes up, it might go up $10, $20, but they're looking for something which they can buy at least 20 shares with a price of 100 to 500. 20, 30 shares like that.
I don't know. I mean, there's nothing out there that's, you know, $20 a share that you can expect to see it hit $100 or something. Like what they're asking for is I want to spend a little bit of money and make the most profit. Like
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
you don't tell them
And that's why
to just get a
I don't have
job.
an answer. Yeah, I don't have an answer. They have a job, they have a full-time job and everything. It's just like so I have a full-time job, so they are my colleagues. So it's just been a craze from last few months. We all started doing stocks since March, and now they are thinking of getting into it since like almost everyone is doing stocks nowadays.
They just need to put some effort into it, honestly. Like don't
Yeah,
just they can't just sit there and say, "Well, what can I put $500 in and get the best bang for my buck?" Like it doesn't work that way,
yeah, I
unfortunately.
told them like just go ahead, watch some videos, do your own studies, and do everything. And I guess they just don't want to put that much effect in it.
They're
It's
not
just
going to
like,
make any money.
yeah,
I mean, I
yeah,
can't help
pretty much.
people that don't want to help themselves, right?
Like I said, I don't know what to give them an answer because I don't know what to tell them.
Just change the subject when they ask you about stocks. I mean,
Yeah,
like when somebody says that to me, I'm like, I just go, well, I don't know, man. You know, like in real life, like if I got colleagues or something say, hey, I heard you're doing stocks. What should I invest in? I'm gonna say, I don't know, man. It's risky. But if somebody says, hey, I heard you're doing stocks, man. Can you teach me? I want to learn. Then maybe I'll you know see what they're about, right?
I
Because I'm
have
happy
been.
to teach people, but I'm not
Mhm.
happy to just like again. The saying is, give a man a fish, he eats for a day. Teach a man to fish, he eats forever.
Yeah,
Which one are you gonna be? If you're
it's
the
just
one that
like
just wants to
it's
eat
hard.
today, I'm not gonna feed you.
It's just hard when you spend 10 hours with people like those. And you're spending like most of your day with them, and it just keep getting hard dodging them.
Yeah, I mean, I just would change the subject, to be honest with you. I mean, it just sounds like they're interested in is, tell me where to put my money, and then I want to see it go from 500 to 5,000. It just unfortunately it doesn't work that way.
It doesn't work that way. That's true. All right. Thank you anyway.
You're welcome. Okay.
I had a question.
All right.
I'm just got TDA. What's it called? The Thinkorswim, and I'm looking at like how to chart and like how would you set up a chart for Nikola, for example? Because I know that it's a company that could be shorted, and obviously they don't really have a lot of products, so more people are shorting it. So I'm trying to figure out how to like start with that basic chart and as like a support and resistance level to where like if it passes some sort of resistance level, that's when the stock would then fall further.
Well, if it passes 1667, it'll fall further.
But like drawing like the lines and stuff in terms of like I remember you mentioned like the higher highs, lower lows, like that type of thing. Like how would you kind of do that?
I wouldn't do it with Nikola. Be honest with you. Never ever look at Nikola again. Be honest, like that is the worst company I've ever seen to ever hit the stock market. I guess I'm trying to think. So I've
Or
got.
do you have like any other company that I could use like for a basic example, like with like the charting?
I mean, yeah, I can do Tesla. Right, so 90. So I mean, Tesla as an example, the stock hit its post split high, and then hit a low down here. Right, went up, hit another low, but it's higher than the previous low. Went up, hit a low again, still higher than the previous low. Went up, hit a low again, still higher than the previous low. So that's a
And
trend.
do you use like when you do it, is it always 5 minute intervals or is it 1 minute? Like what do you prefer?
Well, it depends on the type of trading you're doing, but I usually do 180-day 4 hours. Or I mean, I could go in as short as 30-day 1 hour, 60-day 1 hour, 90-day 2 hour, 180-day 4 hour, 1 year 1 day. That's the
Right.
kind of charting that I look at.
Okay.
So I mean, the best way to look at support resistance is you see a trend, you see an upward, like a huge wave that goes up and then reverses. That's strong resistance. You see this wave that goes all the way down and then reverses. That's strong support, right? So that's how you determine support and resistance.
Right.
On my channel, I actually did 2 videos, one for support, one for resistance. I go into great detail on how to determine that.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna check that out.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think it'd be very beneficial to you because I even talk about weak support and weak resistance.
Right.
And you can just constantly rewind it and rewatch it until you get it. And that's
Mhm.
why I made it because I could teach you here right now. You'll hear it,
Right.
you'll understand it and comprehend it. But then
I'd rather watch it than ask you the questions about it.
Well, I
Like if I
mean,
have
the thing is, are you going to remember everything that I said from this
not
one
no,
session, right? So
course.
that video is going to help you to remember, and you can always go back to it and be like, all right, let me rewatch it, and then I can say, okay, I get this part now. Now I understand why this is that, et cetera, et cetera.
Right. Right.
So
Okay,
highly,
cool.
highly recommend that. It's on in the education section. It's on my channel, Professor Hostel, and it's in the pinned messages.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Who's next?
Hostile, what
Do you get a
what do you
question,
think
Richard?
about? Yeah, I don't know, cause sometimes like just now when somebody was speaking, I can't hear him, so I don't know if like I'm talking over somebody. Sometimes that's the thing. Like, do
You're
you
good.
what do you think about Microsoft?
Man, Microsoft's right in the middle of its range, its big range, right? So 236 up here, 195. I mean, it's literally right in the middle. I think that just kind of looking at the chart real briefly, these major lows, right? These very significant lows, they're higher than each other, right? This significant one here is higher than this one. The stock has not dropped below this one, and then it created. So this is the sketchy part for me, is it created this low, but then created this one. So where is it going? You know what I mean? Like it could go either way, in my opinion. This one's a little bit dangerous, in my opinion. I mean, I know Cal said he's bullish on this one. He's bullish on Facebook and Blink and Amazon. But, you know, to me, when I look at them, I see them going either direction. Now, I agree with his argument that he's on board with the bulls right now because, you know, like I was saying, December is a bullish month.
Yeah.
But I still look at this chart and I'm like, man, I don't know. I just don't know what that's going to do. And me personally, I wouldn't trade it. But, you know, I'm a very conservative trader. I'm going to get into something that I'm very confident in. This gives me no confidence. You know, maybe there's something that Cal's seeing that I'm not, right? And he could very well be. But he's a very different type of trader than me as well. So, you know, I'm more interested in things that I see that are home runs, right? And options trading doesn't involve home runs, unfortunately, because home runs require time. Option trading doesn't have very much time. You got to pay big money for time. So, you know, that's where I stand on that. Does that answer
Yeah,
your
I feel
question?
you, man. It does, but it does. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, I was just wondering if it's gonna go up, but you know, these couple of weeks has been, it's moving really. I don't know. It doesn't have a lot of like.
It just doesn't make any sense because, as I was stating before, like the lows, you know, like this one's low, and then this one's better, and then it gets to this one, which is better, and then it goes lower than that one, right? I mean, I could argue that it kind of holds at the support level, but then the highs are lower, right? And same thing up here, like high, lower high. Oh, then it breaches, it goes up. Oh, and then it falls back down, and now it's even lower. So it doesn't make any sense to me. It's doing wild stuff. There's nothing. I can't look at this chart and tell you with any confidence which direction it's going. Matter of fact, I mean, at best, I'd rather go to the casino and play red or black on roulette.
Shit.
You know what I mean? So
yeah.
for this
I mean,
particular chart, I
yeah.
mean, Amazon's the same. Honestly, when I look at Amazon, you know, it's
The cow was gonna
it
swim
does the
that, I
same
think.
thing,
Yeah.
right?
But
Like,
don't you? Doesn't it look like a ascending triangle? This one.
I mean, it looks like a few things, but the one thing that stands out to me more than anything is higher lows and lower highs. So if you look at all the circles and all the squares, they're contradicting each other. This is a perfect example of a squeeze. It's just which direction is it squeezing? That we don't know. Right? It's not like Tesla when Tesla was squeezing, right? I'm going to show you Tesla's squeeze. Right? You see this? Right? Tesla
Yeah.
held the top but squeezed from the bottom and then ripped up. Right? When you look at Amazon, and it's not doing that at all.
It's just squeezing, no ripping.
It's squeezing from both sides. To me, that's risky. But again, you know, Kyle's a different type of trader than me. He probably sees something I don't. I don't know. But me personally, that could go either direction.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna sell out of Amazon, Microsoft.
I mean, it
for
is
now.
holiday season. It is spending money season. It is bullish month. There are those things that back up a bullish direction.
Oh yeah, I
But
forgot about that.
major but is it's squeezing from both sides, creating higher lows and lower highs. So that makes me nervous. And I don't like trading things that make me nervous because I don't like being emotional. So if I can avoid emotion, I will. And this stock would make me emotional.
Yeah,
I
their
just avoid it.
contracts are expensive too. Yeah,
Oh yeah, they're crazy
maybe
expensive.
even makes it even more emotional.
I mean, even credit spreads are expensive for this thing. I mean, credit spreads are $1,000 total. I'll get $500. Let's say I get a fair 1-to-1 value. You know, I'll get paid $500, but it'll require me to put up 1,000 for it. You know, so it's like that's expensive. $1,000 for a credit spread. And most credit spreads are 500 at most. You know, 250, 100 in collateral. This thing's 1,000. So I avoid that one.
Not even shares.
What? Not even trade shares?
Yeah.
No, it's too expensive.
Uh,
I'd rather do Tesla any day over this. I could
Tesla
put
shares.
3,000 in Tesla shares and guaranteed make money. Amazon, it's like, which direction is it going? You know, it's got no reason to pump. It's got no reason to dump. Well, you know, like at least Tesla has a reason for what it's doing, right? And Moderna has a reason for having pumped. You know, Pfizer has a reason. What's Amazon's? What's Facebook's? What's Microsoft's? You know, they don't have reasons. So
You don't think Amazon's gonna pump in the near future?
I have no idea, man. Like, you know, Amazon's wild. It's another one of those be careful or you'll get burned.
Uh-huh.
You know, I mean, it hit 35.50, went down to 28.71. That's a huge swing. If I had one share, that's $700 difference. I could do $3,000 worth of Tesla and see the same type of value, I guess, or change in value. Honestly, more. Tesla moves more in percent wise than Amazon, I think. So I could get more value out of Tesla than I can Amazon.
Yeah, Tesla's moving really wild. And Tesla has always been pumping too. I don't think it ever
Yeah, oh yeah. All the
yeah,
time.
it never went down since the stock split. Speaking of Tesla, what do you did you talk about Tesla before? Like I probably missed that, but you think it's gonna consolidate from now, or you think it's gonna be more movement on it?
Wait, say that again? I'm sorry.
On Tesla, do you think it's gonna what basically like what do you see on Tesla? Do you think it's gonna consolidate now, or it's gonna keep making moves?
I think Tesla's going to keep pumping until it hits the SPY. And then it's going to dump.
It's as high.
Yeah, hits the SPY.
Oh yeah. When it gets into okay, yeah.
Yeah.
When it gets into SPY, you think it's gonna dump?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Why is that? Why does it dump when it gets into the SPY then?
Well, right now, hedge funds that are invested into the SPY have to put money into Tesla because it's going into the SPY. So they have to, it's basically a form of the shorts getting squeezed. It's just not that, right? It's when Tesla goes into the SPY, hedge funds that are invested in the SPY, they have to make up the cost of that difference that Tesla is going to make when it hits the SPY. Right? They can't own the SPY. Like a hedge fund can't have $100 million worth of money in the SPY, and then Tesla comes in and then changes the SPY. Right? They've got to put money into Tesla so that when it does come in, it doesn't affect the SPY. If that makes sense.
Okay, yeah, I see. So
And
hedge fund cannot buy SPY?
no, if they're invested in the SPY, they have to buy Tesla because it's going into the SPY.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So whenever Tesla does hit the SPY, there's going to be a lot of people that dump Tesla, and it's going to make the SPY fall, in my opinion. I mean, it could pump, it could keep pumping, but I don't think it will. I think Tesla, the pricing is already baked in, and it's going to keep doing its pump to 700. It's going to dump. There's going to be a week worth of red for Tesla. It's going to fall down to its post-split high, 520-ish or area, and then it's going to start its way back up.
Well, probably could play that.
I'm going to play it.
Yeah.
Better believe it.
I'm gonna play on it on its way up because I don't want to bet it against Tesla ever.
Yeah, no, never,
Yeah,
never will I
never,
bet against
man.
Tesla.
They're crazy.
Yo, Hostile, can you put me on the questions list?
Who's that?
Treep.
You can ask next if Richard's done.
All right.
Yeah, I'm done. Go ahead, man.
Hostile, I wanted to I was just thinking about what you told me about like just figuring it out, and I do have an interest in like swinging those stocks that I like getting a really good setup and not like trading a lot over a period of time. So I mean, I wanted to see like any of your trade setups and like why you entered before.
I just when I do shares, I enter based off of support levels, strong support levels. I try to determine which direction is the trend. Like so. I'm in pets right now. I'm in right here at $29, right?
Wait, let me see. Hold up. Oh, okay. I see.
So my crosshair is where 29 bucks is.
Yeah, I see.
It's holding that level extremely well.
Yeah,
That's why I'm getting in.
it's a really strong support level.
Really strong. Rocket's another one that I'm in.
So I don't understand. Do you have a stop loss or anything?
No, I don't do stop losses with shares.
So wait, wouldn't you have to look at the screen the whole day then?
No.
No? Dang.
Shares. I'm not interested in. If I get in a good low support level, it's going to go higher in the future, no matter what. Guaranteed.
Guaranteed in the future, yeah. Okay.
Guaranteed. Unless you buy a crappy company that's doing poorly, right? That's the only time I would say, yeah, maybe you should have a stop loss. But even if you have to put a stop loss, you shouldn't be trading that. Move something else.
All right. Well, I mean, I heard that most investors lose in the stock market. So is it really true that all like basically like if you have a share in a decent company, it's probably going to go up? Because most like most people lose in investing.
Again, as long as you're investing in the proper company and you're getting in at a strong support level, your chances of the stock going up and you making money or higher than you losing.
All right.
So just bag hold until you see profit. I guarantee you, if you get in at the right level, you will see profit.
Okay. So, I mean, what I'm seeing from Rocket, yeah, it bounced off that resistance at around 18 or 19 or something, 18 right there. So you entered in on the second when you saw it correcting a little bit, right?
I got in at 19.
19. Let me see.
So here, there's a strong support level at 19.
Yeah.
I might have been a little premature, but it's okay. Right? And I got in right here, somewhere right there, right before it dropped. I got in. So I'm like, all right, I mean, no big deal, whatever. And then it went up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This is the one that it went up to right here at 22.55 or something. I made $90. You know?
Yeah.
So it did this twice, right? I got in right here before it
I'm
pumped,
only seeing.
and I got out, made 90, $100. I got in here, it fell, but it's okay. It pumped, and I made $90. And then I got in right here with double the money. It pumped. I made $90, $100, you know, give or take, like 80 to 115 between these three spots each. All right. And then it fell down again right here, and I got in at $19 or $20. I'm sorry. Is it 19 or 20? Sorry, let's see. $20. That's
All
the
right.
number. So I'm in it right now at $20, and it's against me. I'm down a little bit, but again, it's okay because it's just shares.
I see. The first one, the support at 20. Um, I mean, the first time you entered, I only see it rebounding off of that once. Like, let's just because, like, you know, like at that time of the trade, you wouldn't know that support got tested another 2 times. So how did you draw that?
You talking about right here?
Yeah.
So the reasoning for me getting in right here was, so I saw this red, right, and then it instantly turned green this after hours, and it tested this support level and fell off of it. Typically, when something this doesn't always work. I kind of took a risk here because when something tests the support level and hits it and falls, to me that means it's going to test it again, right? And what I was really after was getting in at this support level, and when it tests this resistance level again, or support rather, which acts as resistance, I'm going to get out. Well, I wasn't. That was um, when it pumped above it. I think I woke up at like 10:30, check the market, and it was already going up. So I let it ride, right? Um, Also, if you look down here at the volume,
Yeah.
there's not much. That's another indicator that you're going to see it turn around.
Dead volume, really?
Yeah, low volume means that, you know, no one's trading it, and if it's at a support level, if it's at a low, then the chances of the buyers coming back in are higher than the chances of sellers because the sellers have already sold. I mean, from up here at 35 all the way down here, they've already gotten out. Now it's the buyer's turn, right? And buyers got in, people sold, and it dropped at some. Buyers came back in, people are selling, and I honestly expect another drop like this one. And I'm going to
Okay.
double down on it.
Average down?
Double down, but yes, average down. So I've got about $1,500 in the position right now. I'm going to
Yeah.
throw another 1,500 at it if it drops down here.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, this is really interesting. Yeah. I'm not sure because the first circle where you entered in, it tested that support again. But I don't understand why you entered while it was still red. Why wouldn't you wait a couple candlesticks and it showed green and then you would enter?
I like to catch it as it's going down. I don't wait for the green. I like it to be red. That's my strategy. Get it as it's going down. You can't time the market, so get it as it's going down.
Did you enter in when it bounced off of that support level, or while it was approaching it?
Which point are you talking about again?
The first sideways oval at 10/5. The date 10/5. Yeah, that one.
I think I got into this one after hours on this day. So it was I don't remember what I paid, but it was just under $20. It's like probably $19.95 or something like that. But I got in after hours.
So, wait. So isn't that kind of risky though? Because if you don't see it actually bounce off of the support level again, it could just there's another factor of it possibly going down more below that support level.
Of course. It can always go lower. But that's what I said. Again, if you look at the history of this from 35 down to here, the sellers have already gotten out. There aren't too many sellers left. You look at all the red in the volume, there's a lot of red.
Yeah.
Right? And again, if you look at all the red from this oval all the way to where I'm at, there's more red than green. This is setting up to be green soon, in my opinion.
Okay. I really want to try this out actually, like just doing this too. So I'm gonna try and like find some stocks like right now, I guess, and I don't know. I want to try this out definitely.
Don't rush into this. Virtual trade and just play it. Just virtual trade and swing. That's all you got to do. Don't rush into this because if you rush, you're going to lose money.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna use a paper account, obviously, but yeah, okay. I don't know. I'm sorry. I always get like panicked like this. I mean, I don't know.
You're gonna have to get a hold of that because if you panic and you're not trading, you're gonna be panicking when you are. So
yeah,
you definitely need to get a hold of that and build some confidence in yourself. Right? Don't rush into this. The market is not going anywhere. It will be here. It was here before you were born, and it'll be here when you die.
All right.
Don't rush into this. Build confidence. Understand what you're doing. Make sound decisions, and find consistency in your strategy. And then you can make money, guaranteed, 100%.
All right. Who do you think I can ask to review these charts that I want to figure out at least like some, how do you say it, like some stocks that I like that have like those standard deviation setups. I need to watch that video that you just posted, I think today, on that standard deviation scanner. There basically that standard deviation scanner would scan and like any stocks that are approaching a specific deviation, right?
Yeah.
And I remember you said this a while back, but you said I would be playing with fire if I was playing with a new stock. But I don't know. You know, is it that dangerous for me to like get a new stock and like try and play it on the first day I've seen it, and I could just like draw out the technicals and stuff and just analyze it? Wouldn't that be good enough, or would I have to like study the trend of that chart for longer periods of time to actually make a safe?
What I said with playing with fire is going out and searching for stocks, not knowing anything about it, and trying to just trade off of charting them. Right? You don't know anything about the company. You don't know how their ER is. You don't know the revenues. You don't know things like that. I mean, that's playing with fire. If you follow a stock religiously and you know what it's going to do, and you know things about it, then there's something to back up why you're getting into a position. If you just get into a position based off of charting and finding something on a third standard deviation level, you can find yourself losing money or at least sitting there and waiting for a while.
I see. I see. Okay, now I think I kind of understand now because your trading style is really reliant on the what is it called? Like the bait, like how the company works too. It's reliant on that too. I think
Fundamentals.
yeah, fundamentals, but
I
day
don't trade using fundamentals. I mean, I take it into account, but honestly, I want to be out of that position before fundamentals make a difference.
all right. Okay.
I just want the fundamentals to back up the decision of getting into it in case I have to hold it longer than I'm planning.
Okay.
So I guess it kind of does make a difference on fundamentals, but my object is not to get into the position based off fundamentals. The fundamentals just backs up the charting that I'm seeing. I don't want to, and again, I don't want to get into an equity that's going out of business. Even if the charting looks good, even if they're at support, strong support, price is good. I think it's going to bounce. It's on the third standard deviation channel. If it looks like it's going bankrupt, I don't want to get into it. If it looks like it's having trouble, like Dave and Buster's, that one was hitting support levels at some point, but they're potentially going to file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in companies with sound business revenue, solid portfolios of the business. And as long as the business is doing well and it's at strong support, I have no quarrel getting into that. And if I have to hold it for 2 or 3 months, no problem.
All right. I mean, day trading isn't it more reliant on like the story too? It's not like
It relies on news a lot.
yeah.
That's why I don't do day trading because news can be good and then it falls. News could be bad and it goes up. They could have good earnings and it falls. They could have bad earnings and it rises. Just like snow had 3 times worse than what it was estimated, which was negative at that, and it pumped. So it makes no sense to me.
Yeah. Earnings reports are gambled. Like right when the news drops.
Yeah, I don't do news. I don't do earnings for those reasons.
I see.
But going back to what I was saying about being religious about a stock, if you follow it religiously and you know how it's going to act off of earnings, you can play. Right? Like
Yeah.
Netflix. Netflix always runs up to earnings, and then a day or two before earnings, it starts to fall or fizzle out. Earnings comes out and it falls. You can almost guaranteed play Netflix every single time doing that. Now, I don't like to, I just stay away from it because I don't like it, right? But you can see it clearly here, all right? Run up to earnings, falls. Run up to earnings, falls, right? Run up to earnings, falls. You see, you know something, you know how a stock moves and reacts. You can trade that stock very easily.
I see. So why wouldn't so you just don't want to enter it because you personally don't like it. Okay.
Yeah, I don't like earnings. I mean, Netflix, I will do. I'll do like a call credit spreads and put credit spreads on Netflix, right? I'll get it at its low. So like, I mean, I can look at this and say, all right, when Netflix comes down under 470, I'll do a put credit spread. And then as it rises up towards earnings, a day or so before, I'll dump it, take my profit, and then I'll switch and go into a call credit spread. And then it falls. And then as it falls, I'm going to take my profits and I'll be out of it. Right?
Yeah. Okay. Well, when I'm researching a stock, I should be looking at their business model and their revenue, right?
I mean, it depends on the type of trading you're trying to do.
I mean, I had an airline stock because I just believe it'll do good off of like Corona news, like anytime. And I know you don't follow news, but I think it'll do good. Like every time there's some news comes out, like the airline stocks are all just gonna go up.
Well, they're
like brief.
dependent on COVID news.
Yeah,
So
and no, but I think there's also like there's a future in it once this is over again. And
yeah, I think that airlines, though, it's just like oil. I think oil is going to slowly um, lose market share, right? And I think airlines are going to slowly lose market share in the travel industry. They're not going to go out of business, but they're going to slowly. Something's going to come out, in my opinion, that's going to compete with air travel. I think it's going to be Hyperloop. I think it's going to be high-speed rail type of thing. So
okay,
something's going to come out and compete with air travel. It just is. And if the Democrats get their way and they start trying to cut oil and stuff like that out of like no more airplanes and all that kind of stuff, that wild thing. Um, what else is there besides high speed rail? Nothing. How do you get across the ocean? You can't, not without an airplane.
yeah.
Right? How do you get across land without an airplane? High speed rail. So you tell me what's going to compete if the Democrats get their way, especially the socialist Democrats, the ones that are all invested into the new Green Deal, right? How many of them are going to allow airplanes to keep flying if they get their way? Or how many airlines are going to stay in business if they get their way? Honestly, I see them taking over the airline industry and it becomes a government run industry. I mean, just like with socialism elsewhere, everything becomes government run. Oil becomes government run, healthcare becomes government run, airline industry, auto car maker manufacturing industry, it all becomes government run. Then they'll institute high speed rail because it's one of those green energies or green transportations, and they're gonna socialize that. So I mean, that's just my guess here, right? Just if it quacks and walks like a duck, then guess what? It's probably a duck.
All right. Oh yeah. Can you look at one more stock for me, Costco?
Sure.
Because its earnings are on December 10th, I think. I'm not sure. I was talking to Tilio about this because I wanted to play the earnings run up beforehand, and I bought it at at a high mark. I think it was 387. I don't know if that's the right number or even relevant to this number. I don't know. But it's like I bought it at a really high point, and it just it was like Tilio said. It's definitely, I can see this pulling back um like tomorrow or something, and then
Never buy at a high. Never.
yeah. So that's the mistake I made. I bought it at a high, and then yeah, it didn't go. It just went down. But he was talking to me about the strategy where you buy a call and a put, so that if it runs down beforehand, you cash out on the put and then you keep holding the call, because the earnings hype is bound to run up, is what Tilio said. I
Yep.
mean, so there's bound to be a run up even if there's a pullback right now. So you cash out on the put and keep holding the call. And then he was telling me about the two situations, but I didn't follow through with that because I only bought one call, and I just I don't know. I have delayed data on paper, so I kind of gave up on trying that.
So
But
what's your question?
I mean, I don't know what I'm supposed to get out of that. I want to create a strategy off of building off of trading the hype before the run up, and
Sounds to
getting
me like you're trying to do too many things. Pick one.
pick one.
Pick one type of strategy and do it.
Okay, I'll just do the earnings thing then. Because your strategy, it seems really appealing to like play off of key support levels, but I'm not sure. You know, I don't know. Shares feels kind of like I don't know. I'd like to. I would like to like cut positions quickly. In my opinion, I don't know, or cut them once they go down. Like, and I wouldn't want to hold it for like too very long. I guess I'm not sure.
Then my strategy is not the strategy you should be looking at. If that's the type of trading you want to do, then look at the type of strategy that fits that profile. That's what I mean by pick your strategy.
All right, I'll pick one then. I'll pick the earnings run-ups then. Okay, and I guess I'll just go on like StockTwits or something. Search up the stocks. Try that out. I guess for now. I guess.
Okay.
What do you think? You think that's okay?
I mean, I don't know. It's up to you. Like I said, I can answer specific questions, but you know what you should do. That's going to be for you to decide, not me.
All right. Then I'll be studying that because there's always earnings reports, right? Like every week.
Sure.
So
yeah,
there's always going to be opportunities. So I don't. This is never going to go away, in my opinion. I think it's really good. Okay. Well, I guess I'll I'll try that in the morning.
Okay.
I don't know. I just feel so empty when I say that because, like, I've repeated this 4 times. I'm sorry, but it's just I genuinely feel like I'm going nowhere, and I need more confidence, I guess.
Well, again, if you're doing something that's not working, you should not keep doing it.
Yeah. I just never tried this out before, and I'm just getting really stressed because I can't do anything because I need to load $500 into my TD to get real time data, and that takes some time.
No, you don't. I don't think you need to do that.
For paper, not.
You'll never get real time data with paper.
What do you mean?
You'll never ever get real time data on paper trading.
I talked to the TD assistant, and they said, just put $500 in your equities, and we'll turn your paper data to real time.
Really?
Yeah.
That's news to me.
Okay.
Let me see.
What do you mean?
I'm gonna see if my paper trading platform says real data because I've got more than $500.
Well, yeah, that's true. I think you have to ask them to do it though.
Well, let's see.
I've never used TD for real money or anything.
Because I'll be honest, if you can do that would be good to know for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest though. Put $500 in. It's not like you've got to.
Yeah, I am going to, and then I'm just gonna contact them. But yeah, it's gonna take some time, and I'm just gonna be stressing over it, like just stressing over not going anywhere. Like
I mean,
always.
listen. Don't stress yourself out over not going anywhere. I mean, you're trying to learn, right? When you learn things, you're getting somewhere. Even though you're not seeing realized profits and gains, you're still gaining knowledge. That to me is getting somewhere.
All right.
Right? Just because
That
you
is
don't see dollars doesn't mean you're not profiting.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. Thanks, hostile.
You're welcome.
Sorry that I'm like just kind of repeating.
It's all right. All right. I'll take I guess a couple more questions before I head out. Who else? Does anybody else have anything before I go?
I just want to say, thanks a lot, man, for all your input. I know it's late on Sunday. I'm going to sign off, man. Just want to say thanks.
Of course, you're welcome. I think Bogart, you had a question?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
All right.
Go for it.
Cool. I don't know if you touched on this earlier. I haven't heard anything recently, but it's kind of about like over trading and stuff. I'm still new, and I just been having issues like, well, picking winners, I guess, because you guys put out so many different picks, and I'm trying to sit there and pick some, and it's like, I think I've only got 1 or 2 winners out of the maybe 7 or 8 that I've done. Is there any advice on, trying to get my win rate higher?
What type of trading are you doing?
The options, mostly like days. Some of the swings, I try to find the swings more because I'm still new to the Weeble thing, so.
I'll be honest. The reason I don't buy options is because that's the least successful thing for me. I sell options. I buy shares. That works for me. So I can't tell you how to pick the winners there necessarily. I can only tell you find a certain handful of stocks that interest you, follow them, learn them, know everything about them, their price action, their fundamentals, be religious about it, learn the charting, learn how to do support and resistance.
Okay.
Maybe you can find an edge through that. If you want some good advice or good info, watch the videos I've made, especially the support and resistance videos. They're gonna really help you and teach you how to do those things and understand them, and that those videos are there so that you can constantly go back to them and rewind them and watch them again until you get it. Right?
Cool.
I mean,
Those
I
are all
can.
posted on your tab?
What's that?
Those are all under your tab or your channel?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yep. I mean,
Cool, I will check those out.
you're welcome. And the thing is, I can teach you right now how to do it, but like I was telling somebody before, you might not soak every part of what I teach you here, but with the video, you can watch it 100 times until you get it, until you
Yeah,
are dreaming about it.
Yeah.
So that's why I created them, because I wanted to help everybody that wants this information, instead of me teaching it to them and then they asking again, or somebody else asks for it and then they're confused about it again. It's just easy for me to say, here, I made a video, and you can go reference that video 100 times if you have to. That's what I've done. Like, when I want to learn something, I don't get it on the first go. I have to do it 100 times, probably, at least 10.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, it took me a little bit before I got support and resistance. It took me a little bit before I learned trend. It took me a while before I learned how to do options properly, before I found the type of strategies that work for me. So, I
Okay.
mean, even recently I got into option buying again. I was scalping, I was successful, and then I wasn't, right? So, lost a little bit more than I made. I made 800, lost 1,000. So just option buying just isn't for me. But the other types of strategies that I do, like credit spreads, iron butterflies, iron condors, calendars, diagonals, share swings, those work for me.
Cool. Can you do those credit spreads on Weeble?
No,
Oh, okay.
they don't have that ability yet to do on Weeble, unfortunately.
Alrighty. Thanks a lot, Hustle. I'll definitely check out all the videos on your tab.
You're welcome. And I'll be making more, so feel free to subscribe, and then you'll see it pop up. Otherwise,
Oh, yeah.
I'll be posting on the channel when I make some. But if you do subscribe, then obviously you know how that works with YouTube. You'll see it pop up every time you get on YouTube. So
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
you're welcome. Okay. I think that's going to be the end of
Hey,
the what's that?
can I ask?
Sure, go ahead.
So let's say a stock breaks all-time highs. When do you, and it's in price discovery mode, when do you take profits? Like, When do you determine a price to take profits at, or when do you exit a position?
Well, it depends. If something's hitting all-time highs, I normally shave shares. I don't unload the whole entire position. I just start
Mm-hmm.
shaving.
Yeah.
You can
So
also
let's
do
say.
trailing stops.
Mm-hmm.
It just depends. Like Tesla hitting all-time highs compared to Costco. The all-time highs are different. They have different reasons for hitting them. Moderna has different reasons for hitting
Mm-hmm.
all-time highs compared to Tesla, for example. So, the reasoning behind
Do
it
you ever use like?
changes.
Do you ever use like Fibonacci extension or anything like that?
I use Fibonacci retracements, but extensions are good too. I
Okay.
mean, that'll help you. I guess that'll help you determine how much further it'll go based off of a current high.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure that's how that works. Let me see. I think I have.
Do you invest or buy anything like Bitcoin or anything like that, or any cryptocurrencies?
No, I don't do crypto. I lied. I don't know how to
Okay.
do Fibonacci extensions, so I'd have to look that up. I just use
Okay.
Fibonacci retracements.
Yeah, cause I'm in a SPY option car right now, and right now it's basically making all-time highs and it's in like price discovery mode, I think. So I'm just trying to determine like when I should take profits, but I'm looking at 370 or 375 as a psychological level, as probably a good place to unload some positions at. Do you agree, or?
I don't know. Let's see if I can draw something. I could see it maybe bouncing off the 380.
380. Ooh. Do you think it'll hit that by December 18th?
I don't know. That I don't know.
I'll probably take profits like 370 and 375 just to be safe, and then go from there.
Yeah, I mean, if you got multiple contracts, I'd start shaving it in profit.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. I just wanted to know because I didn't know if I was being greedy or not. So.
Well, if you think you are, then you probably are. Take profits
Yeah,
when you
that's
got
true.
them. If you got multiple contracts, it's okay to let a couple ride or one or what. If you got
Yeah.
10 contracts, it's okay to let 3 or 4 ride.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, well, I think I'm going to end it here. It's getting late. I got to get up decently early in the morning. So thank you, everybody, for joining. And I will be posting this video on my channel once I get it converted and uploaded to YouTube. So hope to see you guys again on Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern. Everybody have a good night. Thank you.